Welcome to Political Night. I'm your host Chris Leeson, and today we're joined again by Luis Sanchez from over in California, and we are talking about the number one fucking franchise in the world, Marvel Cinematic Universe. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well, even though if I seem a bit sluggish, that's because I have a very bad sleeping habit at this
What
point in
time is it for
time.
you right now?
Sorry?
What time is it for you right now?
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's early enough.
Well, it's early
It's
enough,
three.
but
It's 3 p.m. for me, so
it's
that's why it's like I've been up. It's fine.
yeah, it should be fine, but at the end of the day, like fucking, I ended up sitting there writing stories till fucking 5 in the morning, and it was like, oh shit, I got a podcast I have to do in 4 hours, and then I go to fucking
Yeah.
go to bed, then I have to get up and walk the dog, and it becomes a whole fucking thing. Anyway, so today we are talking about the Phase 4 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and I have to say, before we get right into that, how did you feel about the whole conclusion, or even maybe a bit of a summary review of the Infinity Saga, for lack of a better term, what they call it? How did you
Yeah.
feel it all
Uh,
wrapped up? How did you feel? Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I mean, there are some duds. There's
yeah,
issues, but like overall, man, like even though I feel like even the worst Marvel movie is like a 5 or a 6.
yeah.
Like I feel like to me, like I really don't like Ant-Man. Either of those movies. Those movies are super boring and terrible.
Yeah,
I don't like Captain Marvel, obviously.
yeah,
Black Panther was fine.
yeah.
Uh,
Two of
like
those movies, by the way, earned over $1 billion.
yeah,
FYI, just yeah. Um,
um,
I didn't
yeah.
understand
I
the whole
mean,
hype
but that's
behind
it.
Black Panther either. Like, maybe it's just, wasn't my thing or anything like that. I never read Black Panther growing up. So,
Black Panther's cool. I like introductions to a lot of characters is always really boring.
mm,
The thing about Black Panther, like the coolest thing about Black Panther, like the movie, wasn't him. That the issue with I had with the Black Panther movie is that Killmonger was way more interesting. Uh,
well, the same thing with
I
the
want just that story.
well, the same thing with the original Thor film. Like, Thor wasn't
Uh,
very that interesting. I thought that Loki was much a better character.
oh
You know?
yeah, oh they didn't figure out Thor until Taika Waititi took over. Now
Yeah,
that Taika Waititi is a part of everything, now we know what Thor should look like in the MCU. Just
yeah,
because Thor in the comics doesn't translate very well for
mm,
this is why for Doctor Strange they had to change him a little bit compared to like they had to do like more of the modern Strange rather than like the classic campy Strange because
yeah,
like that like super serious campiness doesn't work in like
yeah,
modern cinema really. So
yeah.
you have to kind of change the character personality a little bit. And so I feel like with Thor, the first two movies, they tried too hard to keep it accurate to how
Mm.
Thor really is, rather than just have him be fun.
Did you ever read the Ultimates?
No, I know about them. I didn't read them.
Well, that was my introduction to the Marvel Universe. Like I remember, I was a few years ago. I was a lot. See, growing up where I was, we don't have a comic book store. You know what I mean?
Uh,
And like, if I wanted to read a fucking comic book, I had to go down to the library. And the only way to do that is to is to lease out the graphic novels and stuff like that. So I was pretty much late in the game when it came to anything comic books. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for me mate who actually told me to download them illegally and taught me how to do that, I probably would have never
yeah.
got into comic books in the first place. Um, and the Ultimates was the avenue that got me into the comic books. And what's really funny, if you read the original Ultimate book, they make fun of Robert Downey Jr. in that book because they're talking about who would play us in a movie, and everyone's
Yes,
saying,
I know. Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen
yeah,
this exact panel. Yeah.
and they're literally making fun of Robert Downey Jr. Or who would play Tony? Ha! Robert Downey Jr. They might as well been saying, if you want a modern context, Charlie Sheen. You know what I mean? Like, who would play,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, Charlie Sheen, because he's a drunk, blah, 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 blah. So that was my introduction to the Marvel books. Then I got Civil War, World War Hulk. There's a bunch of others, but again, I'm more of a DC guy than I am a Marvel guy. Even
Oh,
though
I've always way more of a Marvel guy.
Oh, really? Okay, well, this is
Yeah, I love like
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is right
Yeah,
up
I
your
always
alley,
thought that
then.
like Marvel. I always thought Marvel was like way more interesting. I always thought. Well, I thought
Why?
Marvel was bigger. I thought it was bigger. Like
Okay.
DC, I feel like was cool because it was localized a lot of the times. Like
Mm.
I mean, it has its fair share of cosmic stuff,
Yeah.
but I feel like where DC tends to shine the best is like local characters dealing with like one-on-one, like hero villain, the relationship between just two characters or only a couple characters,
Right.
rather than like Marvel, where I feel like Marvel excels at like vast
Oh.
massive storylines of things and just that kind of stuff. Sorry, my microphone. I'm starting
No,
to
you're right.
clip
You're
and
right.
stuff.
You're right. I just dropped, just dropped a couple things on the fucking floor, and
Um,
yeah. I,
yeah, I feel like Marvel excelled at bigger, like just wider
mm,
scale, much deeper lore for things, and I always
I
appreciated
don't
that.
know about
This
like.
is why I'm really excited for the next phase of Marvel because it seems like we're starting to get into cosmic Marvel
Mm.
multiverse garbage, and that's where it's like yes, all the casuals can go home now. This is
Yeah.
where it gets good and complicated
A lot of
because this is
these
where
new
Marvel, right,
movies,
Marvel.
yeah, a lot of these new movies, I don't know what they are. You know what I mean? And that's not to say like I was a huge Ant-Man fan, because again, like I'm a DC guy and
Who's
I'm a
even heard of
Marvel guy.
Ant-Man?
But yeah, I know who Ant-Man is, like
Yeah,
through the
no one's
Ultimates.
heard of the Eternals.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, what's some of these other ones here? Like Spider-Man. Who the hell is that? No.
All right.
Um, uh, yeah, just some of these like movies that are coming out. It's just like I really don't know who these guys are. Um, so okay, well, getting straight into it. The next movie coming out is obviously Black Widow. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm guessing you've seen the trailer. What are your thoughts straight off the bat when it comes to
that
good
movie
old Black
has
Widow?
no right to look at, that movie has no right to look as good as it does. I when they announced that they were doing a Black Widow movie, is like, why? I don't care about Black Widow at all. We're
Mm,
supposed to be moving into cosmic Marvel garbage, and then we start with a localized prequel video of someone, movie of someone who's dead, who
yeah.
isn't coming back as far as we can, as far as I know.
Mm,
Like, I was like, oh, I don't want this, but whatever, I'll watch it. Who cares? And then the trailer comes out, and I was like, you know what? This kind of looks good. They're doing Taskmaster. The Taskmaster is an awesome Spider-Man villain,
yeah.
uh, and I want to see more Taskmaster. I just want to see more Taskmaster. They're doing the Russian version of
Yeah.
Captain America. I forgot the name of it. The Russian
Red
Captain America.
something.
Yeah,
Red something. Red
I don't
Widow.
know, or something. Yeah, yeah. They're
Yeah.
doing him, which is cool. I don't know. It looks okay. So the reason I think I have a theory of where Marvel's going. So I think the movies are going to be more cosmic, while the shows are going to be more localized. The reason
Right.
is for the movie they can put more budget into a single thing, and so you can have like a movie with a lot of budget to do cosmic stuff, while you
Mm,
have the shows with a smaller budget, or at least comparable budget, but like more episodes, like more content. So
mm,
technically less budget
yeah.
per piece of media.
Yeah.
You can do smaller stories. You can do like the localized stuff. And so I think the Marvel shows are going outside of like WandaVision, obviously, and Loki, I guess,
Mm.
is going to be the oh god, why can't I think of the stupid name? Oh, I'm an idiot. Freaking, what's the guy from Civil War? The government
Oh.
villain
Uh.
guy. Oh my
Ross.
god, I'm so
General Ross. Thunderbolt
Thunderbolt. Is
Ross.
that what
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be doing the Thunderbolts
Yeah.
team for shows, and I think that the Black Widow movie is going to tie a little bit into that. It's going to probably. I feel like they're going to start showing a little bit more of the like government
Mm.
conspiracy theories of trying to like create their
Yeah.
own weapons and their own cast of people. We'll probably see like Baron Zemo somewhere in the at the like end credit scene. The end credits of that movie will most likely tie into something Thunderbolts related.
I've actually read a
This is
lot of
why
theories about that online when it comes to like what's the next iteration of the team, and it sounds to me like Thunderbolts are just going to be the Avengers, aka Dark Avengers.
it's gonna be Dark
Yeah,
Avengers for the shows. It's gonna be like
yeah,
it's gonna be the anti Defenders. Is pretty much
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Opposite of the Defenders. It's just localized, just like like small scale compared to everything else that's going on, but villains, I guess.
yeah. Well, okay, so I agree with you there, but at the same time, You've also got like they've set up the roster for the Young Avengers. That's definitely going to be a thing coming through.
They're also
Um,
most likely doing the Young Avengers. I don't know if that's going to go into shows or movies, but they definitely want to do that.
yeah, honestly, I think what they're doing is that it seems that they're building up at least two or three different teams. Where if
Yes.
you look at the first you look at Infinity War and well mainly Infinity War, it was about bringing the Avengers characters, and yeah, okay, Doctor Strange is there and Spider Man, and you know, etc. etc. But
Yeah.
it was about bringing the Avengers characters together with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel that
Um.
this
Okay.
next like phase is probably building up the Thunderbolts, Young Avengers, and even another more supernatural team. I'll get into that when we get further down the list. But because they're introducing Moon Knight as a character
Yeah.
on the TV side of things,
Well, they definitely
Blade.
want to get into supernatural stuff. Oh yeah, Blade and Moon Knight. God, we okay. I'm gonna get really mad once we get in, when we start talking about Sony stuff, because Sony's doing the Morbius thing.
Yeah,
Like, I know both Marvel, like both Disney, Marvel, and Sony want to make content together. Just legally, it's hard to like get the right numbers and contracts working out.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I agree with you there. That they definitely want to get to the supernatural stuff, and I have a feeling the stuff with Morbius is eventually going to tie into things with Blade. I don't know if we'll ever see Blade and Morbius at the same time, but I think
yeah.
it depends on how if Sony and Marvel want to play nice together. But they could make something really cool together, tying in all the stuff that all the properties that they own.
I've wanted to see Midnight Suns team up for a long time, and that pretty much consists of Ghost Rider,
Yeah, yeah, all the
Blade,
supernatural.
yeah, all the supernatural sort of characters, and even Man Thing has been name dropped a few times. I know you don't watch it, but in Agents of Shield. So
Yeah,
technically, if you want to make that sort of canonized, he's sort of in there. You know,
I
he's out
believe
there
Agents
somewhere,
of Shield is no longer canon.
isn't it? Oh, don't tell me that.
It was. It was.
Yeah,
It was for a long time, but I believe. Well, now that they've canceled it. Like they pretty much dropped it forever. It's
yep.
not coming back. Uh,
Well, it's
I
got one
think
more
that's them
season to go.
effectively. Yeah, one more season, then it's done. But
Yeah,
I think this is them kind of saying, yeah, it's done. This
yeah.
is we don't care about this anymore.
Well,
It'll be too hard. There's too many ideas in there that they probably want to expand more on and
yeah.
start over
See,
with.
Ghost
So
Rider was on that show.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah, it was
It's what made
such
me
an
want to
awesome.
watch it.
It's such an awesome season. I think it was season 4 where Ghost Rider shows up, and what they did was almost really brilliant. They split the entire because they had 22 episodes per season, so instead of having one long story arc, they split it into 3 blocks. The first
Hmm.
one was that when it comes to Ghost Rider. The second one was life model decoys. A bit of a spy. Well, it's a spy show, so like who's real, who's like who's a robot, who's not a robot. And the third season was the third block of season 4 was all about them trapped in a sense of parallel dimension. It's not real, more of a computer program. I think it was. Like there were it's dude. I know. You have to watch Shield, like Agents of Shield.
I won't.
Uh,
I promise I won't.
dude, don't do that.
Dude, I
You break my heart saying
no.
stuff like that.
If they confirm that like all this stuff is going to be canon and important and it will tie into everything else, then sure. But I always had a feeling that it wasn't going to. It
Yeah,
seems so low budget, low stakes. They didn't care. Like the movies never reference them. There only in Endgame did you see like two small references to like you had like some of the Agent Carter things,
yeah,
and then you had the butler or whatever
yeah.
that
Jarvis.
Jarvis, yeah, the Jarvis guy,
Hmm.
like the guy that Jarvis is based off of. So like you had those two references, I think, to
Yeah,
like the other Marvel things, and that's it.
yeah.
They never touched it other than those.
It sort of makes
That's
me
why it's like
sad.
they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, it sort of makes me sad when you sort of got like Jessica Jones season 1, brilliant fucking show. Daredevil was fucking brilliant. Luke Cage
They're
season
great.
1 was great.
Yeah,
After that,
all the
those
stuff was
shows got
good.
a little, you could sort of
Yeah.
see the budget bleeding through, and it's like, you guys didn't spend any fucking money on this, did you? You know, like, yeah, you
Yeah,
spent too
Marvel
much
dropped
money
that
getting
too.
the rights to these characters, but didn't spend enough time, uh, for lack of a better term, putting into special effects. And I'm not even gonna fucking mention fucking Iron Fist because, like, I literally
Am I the only
painfully.
one that likes? Am I the only one that liked the first season of Iron? It's only one season, I think. Am I the only one
No,
that
there were
likes Iron
two.
Fist?
There were two actually, but
Okay,
yeah,
I don't think I
you're probably out on the boat by yourself there, mate. Like, I
I think
don't
so.
think there's anybody else that really fucking liked that show. Like,
I thought it was pretty neat, and I
the
don't know
dude
why.
couldn't
I don't know
fight.
why.
Like,
Huh?
the guy couldn't fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be a show about martial arts, and
Yeah.
he just looked like shit. Like, every time he got into a fight, it's like, this is not really what I was expecting, but okay, you know. I don't know. I was not a fan of Iron Fist, even though everyone, I guess, tried. There was one episode, I guess, that was really good, which was more like a Enter the Dragon type of thing, where he goes into a building and he's sort of fighting his way up to the top, and he's gone through all
Mhm.
these different villains, like this Silk Lady with. That was a good episode. Like, but aside from that, yeah, it was very lacking in when it comes to yeah anything halfway decent, resembling a decent fucking show. But I couldn't get into Iron Fist. I did love Jessica Jones, as I said. Daredevil, all three seasons were good.
Daredevil was great. Punisher is amazing.
Oh,
The Punisher show is like legitimately like 9 out of 10, like just like fantastic.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've watched it like 3 times. Like it's so I. Out of any other thing that I want Marvel to pick up again is John Bernthal's Punisher. We like
Yeah.
that has to happen. Like God, that has to. We have to see that. Like that. I will be so mad if that doesn't happen.
Yep.
Like I know you probably want the Agents of Shield stuff, but like
I
no,
just
I don't
want
care about that.
Coulson back.
I want.
Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
Agent Carter. Yeah,
Like,
that'd be nice.
yeah, he was my favorite character, and you know, I just remember
They
sitting in the
can
theater
still
watching.
bring him back.
Yeah. Oh no.
They could literally just do because now that we know that like all this stuff is Nick Fury and Sword,
Mm.
we can just next time we see Sword, we can see Agent Carter walk up, get the whole theater clapping and cheering. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Agent Carter or Carson, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been doing? Oh, you know, a bunch of crazy stuff on at home." And like just kind of like
Well,
wink and a nod to the fact that Agent Shield happened, but never try to just like,
bit,
"Hey, I did a bunch of stuff." Like,
bit of
and
a
then he's just back.
spoiler for season 5 of Agents of Shield. You
Mm-hmm.
said you're not going to watch it, so it's not really one of those things that you're really going to care too
Spoilers for
much.
anyone who cares about this terrible
Yeah.
show. Okay.
Coulson died again.
Oh, cool. Is he actually dead?
Uh, they brought him back like he in season 5. Like I think it was end of 5 that he died, which was the lead up to Infinity War, and they did a
Mm-hmm.
really good job with that. Like, and then they brought him back as a alien type of thing, someone who's taking Coulson's fucking form, but he was a really bad
Oh,
guy.
was it the? He was he what are the freaking guys from Captain Marvel? I can't think of
Scroll.
anyone's name
No,
right
no, he
now.
wasn't a scroll. He was
That would have been
a
neat.
bit of timey wimey thing involving the what do you call them? The
Yeah.
big rock things that take people to space. It's part of the show,
Okay.
you know. And somehow he got duplicated, and an alien took his form. But
Okay.
he turns out to be the villain of season 5. But
Okay.
at the
Oh,
very
so they
end,
did do the because in the comics that happens, right? Carson dies and it comes back as like a cyborg thing and then becomes a villain.
yeah.
I believe that happens in the comics. I
Well,
haven't read it, but it's one of the things that I think happened.
the very end of season 5, it's revealed that oh well, because we're going into this, you know, blah blah blah. You know, we have to go back in time and fix something. Um, we've actually rebuilt Coulson, so now he's a life model decoy for the very last season. He's like, yeah,
Okay.
and it's just like, okay, I don't care, you know, just give me more
Yeah.
Coulson. So if they do Nick Fury Agents of Sword TV show for Disney Plus, I just want to see that life model decoy show up. You know, and again, you don't have to explain anything. You know what I mean? Fans
They
can
really,
sort of
yeah, they'll just say,
retroactive.
yeah, literally just a quick thing of this, like, yeah, I was busy,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly,
back.
exactly.
Like that's it.
Yeah, actually, it was actually really cool because I'm gonna go on a little tirade of the fucking Agents of Shield Because honestly, when that fucking first got announced, I was so excited. Bringing Coulson back, who was my favorite character from the first Phase 1 set of movies. And
Mm.
just this whole mystery on how he came back. And the first season has a lot of fucking cameos. Like, I remember a friend of mine, he wasn't quite getting into the show. He's like, well, I haven't watched it yet, rah, rah, rah. So I made him a list of the first
Mm.
3 seasons along with the movies. Alright, so you have to stop watching, episode 12, go watch Winter Soldier, and then after Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, come back and then do this.
It's
And
like Clone Wars. Like trying to like tell
yeah,
people like what are the good Clone Wars. But I'll quick tangent. A quick tangent on your tangent.
yep,
Disney Plus right now has a section. I just talked about it on my Instagram.
mm,
Disney Plus has a section now that they got the 20 most important episodes of Clone Wars. Like you can
okay,
in Disney Plus it says like here are the 20 most important episodes of Clone Wars. Watch these, and it has
okay.
like this like the most important arcs and stuff. And so for anyone who hasn't watched Clone Wars, go watch Clone Wars. They couldn't have made it any easier for you. It's just like here's all the important stuff.
Mm,
It skips like one of my favorite arcs where I think where Obi-Wan fakes his death and joins like his bounty hunter guys. It skips that arc, which is a great arc, but
I
whatever.
love that. Yeah.
I know it's so cool, but they have a lot, and they also I think they also skip the one where the clones end up accidentally fighting each other because of
Yeah.
that one Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they skip that over that one too. But that's fine. Those two aren't the most essential arcs. They're just cool.
Right.
But it has all the Mandalorian stuff. It has all of the important Ahsoka things. So just watch it. It's 20 episodes. Watch it because I think the next season of Clone Wars comes out this week or next week.
I find it funny because when I asked you to come back for another podcast, you're just like,
I
okay, fine, just let's not talk about Star Wars.
I know, and then here I
Yeah,
am talking about Star Wars. I know.
the second you said Clone Wars, I'm like, oh, here we go. We're getting
All
right
right, I'm
into
done.
it.
All I'm saying is that like if
Mm,
you want to watch Clone Wars, now's the time. Disney Plus is making it really easy
yeah,
for
okay.
people, just who hasn't watched.
Well,
All right, back to your tangent.
for any fan of like the Marvel movies, and if you're a huge fan of Coulson, I highly recommend watching the Agents of Shield. It was, it's a really, really good show. Even if they break the fourth wall every now and then with type of jokes like who are you guys? Oh, oh, don't worry about that. And then they mentioned something about having a small but loyal fan base. It's like I see
It's
what you
hilarious.
guys did there. I mean,
Pretty fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it hasn't been announced yet. But there are a lot of theories about the secret invasion, Sword maybe being a Disney Plus TV
Yeah,
show. Honestly,
yeah.
I hope they do.
Teenage would be really cool.
Yeah, I really hope they do. Like, again, Agents of Shield introduced Quake. There are so many great characters on that show that you can easily enough just transfer over. You don't need a long explanation on who they are. Just, oh, here are these guys, Oh, this is, everyone knows Coulson. Oh, by the way, didn't you know he had a wife? And then introduce Melinda May. Uh, little things like that I think would really help out the show. But anyway, again, off that tirade of Agents of Shield, go watch the show, please, 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 please. It's a fucking great show. I really
Until
love it.
Disney officially announces that it's no longer canon, in which case don't watch the show.
Honestly, you can't not make it canon though. It has Nick Fury
You can
in.
easily do that.
No, Nick Fury's in like 3, 4 episodes.
I know.
Um,
I
what's her name? From Thor. Oh, Lady. No, what's her name? I was gonna say Lady Shiva. Um,
the other chick, the one that isn't Natalie Portman.
Yeah, the Asgardian. She's in the. She shows up constantly in the show. Peggy Carter shows up in the show. It's actually really good. Anyway, let's talk the Eternals. Now, I don't know a fucking thing
Do
about
you
the
want me to explain?
Eternals. This is all you, man. Like fucking
All right.
what the fuck are the Eternals?
Yeah. So this is where
Last I
Marvel.
care.
This is where Marvel is getting. This is where I think the MCU is getting cool. This is why I keep saying casuals go home. It's kind of this is Eternal of a team in the comics. Like they're cool, they're
Yeah.
fine. Nobody cares about them. Even comic fans who are like more than I mean, I'm somewhat casual. I'm casual compared to serious Marvel fans. Um,
Yeah.
even then, when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, they're like, I mean, that they're cool. You don't need it. This is kind of like that with Eternals. Difference with Eternals is that like the Eternals themselves aren't that important. It's why the Eternals exist and what the Eternals existing in the MCU means for everything else.
Okay.
So you have the Celestials being created in the Marvel universe. You have the Celestials are created by. I always forget the rank. Is it the one? It's one above all.
It's
I
one
guess
above
is
all.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think there's like a level below them, and then Celestials. I don't remember. Because I know you also have the Watchers, which are above the Celestials, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you have you have Celestials creating, going planet to planet, kind of experimenting, and creating kind of life as they. You have some Celestials like wanting to create life. Some Celestials just kind of destroying things, just experimenting. They're just curious, and they're just and so you have when they are. I mean, I really wish I like read up just like so I can get this fresh in my head. Sorry for everyone who's watching this is like you're explaining this terribly. Yeah, I know. You have when their Celestials came to Earth, they created three, if I remember correctly, three different types of creatures. They had the
Humans,
and on every
Eternals,
yeah,
and Deviants.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And on other planets too, this happened. Like I believe there are deviants, and yes, there are deviants and like the successful one, because the deviants are kind of like the bad experiments, the experiments that got wrong. Funny enough, Thanos in the comics is I think half deviant, he's half deviant, and I think his mother. He was a deviant who's like born that way, and then his mother I think is like half celestial or something like that. Like he's like three things. He's like three different things. And he was born a mutant on Titan as a deviant, looks like a deviant, but has the brain of like all the mindset and like strength of like I think like the half celestial thing. I'm hoping that'll be explained in the movies. With the Eternal movies, it's like, oh yeah, Thanos, he was one of these things. And
Yeah.
so Eternals were kind of the like perfect experiments. They were like just for easiest way to, they're just Superman. They're still human-like. They're not like as crazy as like a cosmic entity or a celestial, but they are super powerful. They're like one step below like a Silver Surfer. Is how I'd put like Eternals. At least like old school Silver Surfer. And then you have the Deviants who were kind of like troll-like creatures who kind of lives underground, and then you have humans who were kind of the middle point of those experiments. Eternals themselves in the comic, I've never actually read an Eternal comic, and most people haven't. I just know like a lot of history for the Eternals, just because what the Eternals did, like the creation of the Eternals, humans and deviants on Earth, ended up creating the X gene in like the mutant gene. It was that those experiments that the Celestials did on Earth ended up in humans creating like this gene, the X gene, that wouldn't manifest, like wouldn't evolve until like millions and millions of years later, until like when we get the first mutants in the I guess 1900s or whatever, or whenever the first mutants were.
Wasn't it
or I guess that was a big
Apocalypse was the first two.
Yeah. Those are the first. So those were earlier, obviously, but then once it starts booming. It starts booming more in the 1900s or whatever, when everyone starts getting like it was a gene that wasn't, it was kind of like latent and like wasn't meant to awaken until like way later down the line, and so all of the experiments kind of accidentally created the X gene. This is why like the Eternals themselves are like in the comics, like they're fine. The characters or whatever, they have their own stories. They do things, but it's the fact that like because the Eternals means that like, okay, so they're gonna explain this, why the Eternals are there. They're gonna explain the Celestials. They're gonna hopefully explain this is kind of their very beginnings of X-Men in the MCU, because they can explain the X gene in this movie. They probably won't until like a post-credit scene or something, because they could easily, because one of the questions is like, oh, if there are X-Men in the MCU, or there's like mutants in the MCU, why haven't we seen mutants in the MCU yet? Easy explanation. The X gene didn't really awaken until the late 2000s
I think
until
it'll
like
have
instead of
something to do with the snap. I think that's going to be
that's
what.
another theory.
Yeah,
I've seen that too, like the snap, like
yeah,
snapping everyone out, like everyone out and then back.
yeah.
Uh, one did that. I like the theory more that like the snap ended up waking up Galactus. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because you have the okay, so you have the Celestials getting too powerful, creating planets, and or
Mm,
doing experiments on planets, and so you have then again, I think it's the one above all, creating then Galactus to
yeah.
kind of stop the Celestials from getting too powerful. So you'd have Galactus destroying planets, so that way the Celestials didn't gain too much power.
Okay.
Um, so that's why Galactus
Is that part of the
exists, pretty much.
comics?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
the reason why Galactus exists to destroy planets is to kind of make it like it's a balance thing.
Yeah,
Galactus. This is why Galactus is not a villain or Galactus is just he's a hurricane.
yeah.
He just exists by nature simply to like keep the universe in balance.
Hmm.
And so the snap I feel like would awaken Galactus to be like, what just happened? Too much life has moved. I have to now go to where the source of this was, and universe
Yeah.
is massive. It could take him forever to get from one side of the universe to the other. So we'll probably start seeing the beginnings of like, hey, there's this like massive energy wave slowly coming towards us. I
Yeah.
wonder what that is. Like that, we'll probably see that somewhere. I
Uh,
guarantee in one of the post-credit or somewhere in the background, you're gonna see a sword agent. They're like, hey, Nick, what's this blip? Oh, don't worry about it. Like you're gonna see, it's gonna be that it's gonna start that small, but we have to get Galactus. I hope
mm.
that means we also get Silver Surfer because Silver Surfer is great.
Well, he can't be
Uh,
the main villain for Phase 4, 5, and
no,
6. Like,
I think he might be. I think that would make the most logical sense if this theory of the snap waking him up is true,
mm,
because that would make a lot of sense.
well,
What because again, you're starting to these next phase of Marvel stuff. They're introducing all the cosmic stuff, all the like supernatural characters. You need characters that like are used to space. This is why you need like the Eternals. You need multiverse things. Like you need all these other.
yeah.
You can't if it, like you can't do Thanos in the Infinity Saga, or you can't do Galactus in the Infinity Saga. It's
Mm,
just way too much. Like it's
yeah.
way too out there. But if we start introducing things like the Eternals and Celestials, and then we start introducing uh, some of the even more cosmic stuff, you start, doing Doctor Strange and his multiverse things
Yeah.
and all the stuff that with that, which I'm very excited for. Um,
I
then I
haven't.
feel like it's a little palatable to people, even somewhat more. This is why I keep saying casuals go home. The reason I say that is just because explaining Galactus is kind of hard. Like I mean, you could just do he's just a guy, he's running around, he eats planets. You can do that,
Yeah.
but to explain it in a way that like makes sense and because we had a villain like Thanos,
Yeah.
a fantastic villain in the MCU, the best villain. Like the way they handled Thanos
Mm.
was fantastic. I
Yeah.
kind of wish they
He doesn't
I
hold a
kind of wish
fucking
they didn't.
candle to Steppenwolf though, man. Steppenwolf was awesome.
I don't
Sorry.
know.
The DC Justice League bad guy, whatever he
Okay,
forgot. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah, I
that
don't
was
know. All
a
right.
terrible joke. I know. But,
No
yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And everyone, I thought that you would get that joke.
for what Justice League things? I don't
Yeah.
care about. I don't. Was that in the Justice League movie? Was that
Yeah,
the villain in that
yeah,
one? The one that
yeah.
no one cares
The
about?
big grey
Yeah.
guy,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know his name.
Well,
I I saw the movie. I don't know his name.
apparently he was supposed to be the villain for the Suicide Squad, and Darkseid
That's
was going
stupid.
to be the fucking villain for the Justice League movie. So it was
I
supposed to
don't.
all tie together and shit like that. But yeah, for some reason Zack Snyder's like, no, I want to do 3 whole movies instead of just 2. And then suddenly, yeah, what happened with him? And then instead of 3 movies, I get 1. But anyway,
Put it all in one. Yeah.
yeah.
We don't need 23 movies to explain this. Just start. Just do it. Just make
Honestly,
one. It's all-
if he had had his way, I think people would have been going into Endgame and Infinity War going, oh, they ripped off fucking Darkseid here. Look at this fucking purple guy.
This
Alright.
one.
So talking about the Eternals and that, I really want to talk about Shang-Chi because these are the
I
2
don't know.
movies I've seen that I'm like, I really don't know too much about these guys. Um,
The only thing I know about Shang-Chi is the Ten Rings stuff.
yeah,
and so they've been teasing. Man, Marvel has been Kevin Feige must really like the Ten Ring stuff. He just wants to he wanted to take his time.
It's sad.
Oh God,
that,
what's the?
the Mandarin.
No. I forgot the name of Fin
Shang-
Fang Foom.
Oh yeah.
I want to see Fin Fang Foom in Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
So Fin Fang Foom was the Iron Man villain, but
Yep.
it involved like the Ten Ring stuff, like Iron Man and the Ten Rings, and ever since the first MCU movie, he was captured by. I mean, you can see like all the enemy, like all the terrorist guys. They all have like the Ten Ring logo, like all the stuff that happened to Iron Man was involved. He was directly involved with Ten Ring stuff.
Yep.
They just barely explained any of it, even in Iron Man 3. And then at the final part, it's like, it's Mandarin. No, it isn't. Okay, so so close to getting Ten Ring
Trevor.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Salary. Like, you know.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. Like, it's funny. I still don't like Iron Man 3 that much, but
I don't mind. See, I'm probably the only one that didn't mind that twist. But the only thing that I had while watching it, I'm like, this better not be the last time we see Iron Man. Because there was a whole fucking thing how his contract had just finished up, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
I
remember at the time. Yeah,
yeah, and he froze the
I was
thing
like,
in.
this is that
I'm like, this
because that was
better
a
not be.
he didn't want people. He was fighting with the contracts of like other actors not getting paid as much, and he thought he was getting paid too much, and he wanted to help. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah,
I remember at the time.
I just remember thinking, this isn't the way Iron Man needs to go out. You know what I mean?
No.
You know, so I remember watching that movie going, it's a nice little stepping stone, and I get their, you know, completing their little trilogy or whatever they're doing here, but this better not be the last time Robert Downey Jr. plays Iron Man.
Yeah.
Even Endgame, I've sat there and like, you know, I'm like, no, I don't want him to go yet. Like, I felt like David.
His Endgame ending was great, but yeah,
I felt like David.
I didn't want him to go either.
Yeah,
There's so much other stuff.
yeah, I felt like David Tennant at the end of Doctor Who. I don't want to go yet. Like, you know, like, that's how I felt with Iron Man. I'm like, no, don't let him go yet. But he'll come back in some form or another. Like, you know, phase
we'll
6,
see
7.
holograms and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got the multiverse going on now. You know what I mean? So I guarantee. I got a little bit of a theory. I think that this whole Doctor Strange multiverse thing is a way to bring back Iron Man.
They won't. No.
You don't think
not
so?
at all. No, zero chance. Almost put money on it. That's not what this multiverse stuff is.
I don't know, man. But think of it this way: imagine a universe out there where Pepper Potts and his daughter Morgan pass away.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you have a lonely Iron Man. Just pluck him up. Just okay. We're bringing you over here, and just drop him.
Yeah, it's too easy.
You know.
That's so boring, dude. I would legitimately hate that.
Really? That's my idea.
No, dude. I don't like it when. I don't mind characters coming back for like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't need Iron Man. I don't need Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man to be back forever. He's done. He's done. Like he can come back for like in holograms and messages.
Yeah.
Maybe even in like a multiverse thing, but he has to go back for some. It's like, oh, the continuity of whatever will dissipate if I don't go back to my dimensions. So like they could. That's. I can deal with that. Don't bring him back. Like that will ruin. Like I won't. It'll legitimately like ruin like his because his ending was fine. Like or great actually. I think his goodbye I thought was very very good. So I don't.
Apparently it was his idea not to say a word during that scene.
Yeah, that was all him.
Yeah, he's like, you know, instead of having some big grandiose speech, he's like, no, he's dying. So.
Well, the I am Iron Man thing was I think his idea.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Yeah.
And then not talking towards the end, and then. Yeah.
I've got this guy I work with, and he is so fucking pissed off that Iron Man's dead at all. You know, he's like, you know, I was like, well, you know, they can't keep making Iron Man films. He's like, are you fucking kidding? I'd pay, you know, all the way up to Iron Man 28. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
This is why I think Kevin Feige realized that like this is the logical step. This is the logical way for the story to end. The story is about Iron Man. Like this is about Tony Stark. And so having him die at the end and wrap up his story arc makes sense. Yep. But I think Kevin Feige realized that like because we have spent 23 movies telling this one character's arc. I mean, there's other characters too, obviously, but like this main character arc, there's going to be a good amount of people. I don't know about most, but a good chunk of people who are like, cool, I saw all 23 movies, or even like a couple of them. I saw all the movies that Iron Man was in,
Yep.
whatever, and I'm done. I'll never see another. Or maybe every once in a while they're like, oh yeah, Spider-Man, I like you, I'll watch that one. But
Yeah.
like, and I think that's why Kevin Feige is deciding to go with the cosmic stuff, because he already knows, like, well, if the casual fans are leaving anyways,
Mm-hmm.
we might as well get crazy with it.
Yeah.
We might as well go like full speed ahead on this.
Yeah, I've got two stories from when I went to watch Infinity War. First one was like just as the movie ended, like everyone turns to dust, and yeah, the whole cinema, and everyone just sort of gasped. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's how they're gonna end it. Everyone got dusted. You
I had a
know?
woman behind me the first time I saw it lose it
Yeah.
When Black Panther died, like literally bawling. Like I was like, this is embarrassing how much you care about this one character. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Well, I remember I was in the cinema and yeah, like they had the whole dusting and that, and I remember there was a bunch of kids just behind me. Oh, shouldn't say kids. They're probably like 19, 20, but younger than me. I'm 30, so it's not easy to say. Oh, these little children behind me, but they weren't.
Yeah.
And I just remember one of them going, "I've never seen an Avengers movie, and this
No,
is how
fun.
it, and this is how it all, what the fuck."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was just devastated. But I remember I went to see it with my dad, and as we are leaving the cinema. He's like, "Oh, what'd you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was good. I just have one, little disappointment." He's like, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "There's no Coulson." Like, I was so expecting,
God dang it.
fucking Coulson to show up or something, just a little tip of the hat, you know what I mean, something like
Nope.
that. And then
It's not very
out of
good.
nowhere, this random guy is walking up behind me, and I guess he's never seen the show or never even heard of the show. He walks past me, he's like, "Coulson's dead, dude. Get over it." Just some random bloke.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
just like,
me. That was me. That's what I said to you.
"You bastard." But I was just like, I just found that fucking completely fucking random. Some guy that was just completely, walking, just cut, that whole little bit of conversation is just like, "Coles is dead, dude. Get over it." And I was just like, "Who the fuck are you?" Yeah. But getting back to Shang-Chi,
Yeah,
I understand why they haven't done the Mandalorian, fucking
Mandarin.
the Mandarin
Mandarin.
up until this point.
Yeah,
He's very stuck in the 1970s type of character. You know what
oh,
I
for
mean?
sure.
And it would be very hard to fucking update him. I was a little disappointed. I thought that fucking the trailers for Iron Man 3 looked like, oh, they fucking cracked that fucking nut. They fucking figured out how to do fucking Mandalorian, the Mandarin. But it seems to me this movie here is sort of combining a couple of characters, which is Shang-Chi's father with the Mandarin. I was like, okay, yeah, I understand that. And
Yeah.
apparently the movie's going to be a tournament movie. It's going to be like,
Oh,
yeah,
it's Marvel vs. Mortal Kombat.
yeah, exactly.
It's a Mortal Kombat Tekken. It's a fighting game.
Yeah, I know what Mortal Kombat is, man. I'm like,
No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not
yeah,
saying like. I'm just saying like they're turning the movie into a fighting game.
yeah. I think that's exact. I think that's
The
what they're sort
story
of
of it.
doing with it. It might, because they're introducing a bunch of different type of fighters and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be very Mortal Kombat Marvel edition, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Is this them saying
But
that they're going to bring back MVC?
hey,
Are they going to bring back Marvel vs. Capcom? Is
oh,
that
that
what
would
this
be
is?
cool. That would be really cool. Um, but one character I kind of want to see in this movie, and I sort of want them to do a bit of a soft reboot. Considering it's a fighting game and da da da, why not throw in Iron Fist in there? You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
If they're
Oh,
doing
they should.
a
100% should.
yeah. And the thing about the TV shows we talked about before, he never put on the fucking outfit. It's not fucking
No.
hard. It's a bandana around the fucking head. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I always thought that the
Even
ending,
Daredevil got his outfit kind of.
yeah, well,
Punisher got his at the very last second.
I always thought that fucking when Daredevil died at the end of Defenders, that
Mm.
Shang-Chi, that Iron Fist would take up the bandana, but just make it
Yeah.
yellow, as a nod
Yeah.
to a nod to Daredevil. Like, well, I'm
Mhm.
taking up his sort of responsibility, protecting the streets. Da 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 da.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm gonna take, I'm gonna, sort of honor him by wearing this thing. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it's just, yeah, just missed opportunity. But I still think if they don't have Iron Fist in this, then do a sequel about and have, I don't know, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Iron Fist or something like that.
You have, yeah, I think you have to put. I think they should put Iron Fist, and even get. They also said that the freaking Defenders stuff isn't canon anymore, but like they
Yeah.
could. It was made. They purposely made those shows to work in the canon, so
Hmm.
they could, if they want to, at any time bring in those characters,
Yeah.
and barely even give backstory, like you were saying before, just like with like the other with like Agents of Shield, like same
Hmm.
thing. Like they could just like, hey, Iron Fist, what do you do? Oh, I do these things. All right, cool, cool. Here you
Yeah.
go. We're here now. That's the character. Cool. And then move on. And then we have Iron Fist in the MCU.
I was always disappointed that they never really combined the TV show side either. Yeah, I understand it couldn't work in the movies and that, but why not bring Agents of Shield and Daredevil and all that sort of, do an
The tones
Avengers
were so
style.
different.
Hey,
The tones were so different. The tones were too different. And it's Netflix.
yeah.
It's kind of like why it's like, hey, just put Spider-Man in the thing. It's like it's yeah, well, Sony owns one part of it and Marvel owns the other part. It's like
Mm,
it's licensing is terrible.
yeah.
It's just why.
Well, again, I don't know too much about Shang-Chi, but I am looking forward to it. It's just something a little bit different than we've seen before when it comes to Marvel movies. Um,
It's another one of the movies that I'm like,
mm,
I'll watch it. I'll watch every single Marvel movie, but this one I'm not like. I feel like until I see a trailer, kind of like Black Widow, it's one of those things where it's like I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
yep.
Black Widow was like I don't care about this, and then I see the trailer, it's like oh you know what, this looks pretty good. I feel the same way about Shang-Chi. I know nothing about Shang-Chi other than Fin Fang Foom.
Mm.
I want to see a dragon, and that's about it. That's
Yeah.
about it. I just want to see a dragon,
Oh,
and then
they were
other than
dragging
that, I don't know.
skeletons in Defenders, if you remember correctly. That was like the whole point.
I never finished Defenders.
Oh, really? No, you're not.
I only watched like the first two episodes.
Yeah, you're not fucking missing too much. Uh,
I know that's why I was like, don't worry.
all right. So, aside from all that, the one movie I'm looking forward to the most, and that's the next one on the list, is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2
Yes.
in the
Are we going to
multiverse of
bring up
madness.
the? Are we going before we even get into this? Cause I feel like we have to actually start to talk about the shows.
Oh, well, I've got the list of shows after. Like, I was planning on going over the
Yeah. Well,
movies, but yeah. If you want to talk
I
about, yeah,
think
that's
well, I
fine.
think the reason why I want to bring up the shows at least WandaVision,
Yeah.
just because it's going to tie directly into Doctor Strange and it's taking place right before Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
All right.
yeah.
WandaVision looks
Uh,
a very bizarre TV show. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, WandaVision's gonna be awesome.
yeah. I can see a lot of like they're introducing Wicca and Speed in that. They've got what's her name? Oh, from the Captain Marvel film, the little girl. She plays
Yeah, I forgot
yeah,
her name too.
yeah. She's apparently a big character, but I've never really like Phasma. No, Phasma. Fuck. Oh, I can't think of her name. She's apparently going to be introduced in the show. They've got Jimmy Woo, who is apparently going
Yep.
to be in the WandaVision TV show. Um,
Oh,
oh,
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau, that's it. I just hope that it all ends with a Doctor Strange cameo. Just little
Oh yeah, it's
little 30
well,
second thing. What have you been doing, Wanda? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sort of like the disappointed teacher just sort of rocks up at the very end of it. Okay, what's happening here? Yeah, what have you been
it's
doing?
it's definitely the way they're going to do it.
Hmm.
Is probably going to be all the stuff that's happening in the show. It's Wanda. It's Wanda like wanting Vision to come back,
Yep.
finding out that she has the power to like bend reality and create her own like kind of move into a different like a different universe
Hmm.
where she can kind of manipulate it and create her own.
Yep.
I feel like it's a I think they're doing a mix. They're doing the Vision comic that I
Yep.
never read and I need to because I know it's amazing, but I know it's depressing. But I need to read it. But
Yep.
if you guys don't know, the Vision comic is Vision creates a family and it's super depressing. That's
Yep.
all. That's Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're mixing
King or
that.
something like that did that comic. Tom
Yeah.
King. Yeah.
They're mixing that, and I think it's like a reverse House of M
Mhm.
kind of thing. I think they're kind of I think they're gonna have it to where Wanda ends up like accidentally creating a universe. By the end of it, having to destroy it,
Yeah.
like have to destroy the entire thing, activating the full Scarlet Witch powers. That's
Mhm.
gonna pretty much. I think all that's gonna do is gonna wake up Nightmare, the character Nightmare. He's
Right.
like, oh, I think that's gonna like open up a portal to like where Nightmare can like now exit like the dream Nightmare dimension and then like affect the real world. And then Doctor Strange can be like,
I think.
Wanda, what
Yeah.
have you done? You've awakened Nightmare. Now we have to go fight him. And then the Doctor Strange movie is them having to fight Nightmare.
Yeah. They've been constantly saying that Nightmare will be part of. Well, Scott Derrickson, the guy that directed the first movie. Well, he's out now.
Mm.
He's not actually doing the second one
He's
now.
out now, yeah.
Yeah. He's even said
It,
that the
it
one
might
character he wants.
be,
Yeah.
it might be Sam Raimi.
I read that, man. Oh, I'm so hopefully.
Some people are saying that it's for so many outlets are saying that Sam Raimi confirmed. No, Sam Raimi is at the top of their list.
Mhm.
Both Sam Raimi and Marvel want to do it. I think they both.
Yeah.
Well, I think they both have on record say that like we want him and he wants to do. Now it's just a matter of if they can revise because they're also changing the script a little bit. If they can revise the script in a way that he's happy and the studio's happy, then they'll have him direct it. But that'd be great. Sam Raimi would be the perfect person to direct a Doctor Strange
Yeah.
super horror film.
And if you even got like the little reference in, I think it was Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it's Spider-Man 2, where they're trying to come up with the names of Doctor, and he's like,
Like Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. It's good, but it's taken.
Yep.
Even like a little reference to something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Because we know that Marvel and Sony both want to do a live action multiverse.
Mhm.
The amount of money that the animated one did, they're like, we have this would be an easy money for us.
Yeah.
This is why in the newest trailer for Morbius,
Mhm.
you see the picture of Spider-Man. So many things are happening because you have like that is a screenshot from the video game from the Spider-Man PS4 game with Tobey Maguire's suit,
Yeah.
but it's referencing Tom Holland's Spider-Man and how in the events that happened in his movie. So it's one of those things where, yeah, they're mixing three different universes. I think that's kind of a hint.
Yeah.
Hey, we might want to be mixing Spider-Man universes.
Yeah.
So having like the Sam Raimi, having a Sam Raimi directed Doctor Strange multiverse thing, they could easily do a quick little reference in the movie. Again, end credit scene or just something in the background of just, hey, maybe we're doing Spider-Man multiverse.
Here's what I think post-credit scene's going to end. I think because they've been talking to the actors from the original Fox X-Men movies about, Patrick Stewart recently came out and said that he met with Kevin Feige about doing a possible Marvel movie. I honestly think they're going to have little references, just like they did with the DC, Crisis on Infinite Earths, how they touched upon pretty much every single DC property that they ever had, with the exception for probably Wonder Woman and a couple others.
But they did like Smallville.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
No, I just know about it.
Do you know about the cameo that they have in there, like the top secret cameo?
No, it's other than the Smallville one, that seems like the craziest one to me.
Oh no, there's one. Can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Oh, okay. They have a cameo from Ezra Miller's Flash, who shows up in the TV show.
From
the Justice League movie. He shows up.
Oh, that's crazy.
He shows up as a cameo. Like, I'm sitting there watching it and I'm going, like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, it blew my fucking mind while I was sitting back watching it. I was like, are they really fucking doing this? And Ezra Miller's
they
Flash.
really did.
Hey?
I'm looking at like images and stuff.
Yeah.
On Google.
Yeah. Ezra Miller's Flash. Apparently that was a studio mandated thing because they haven't got the movie around yet. So they're just like Warner Brothers, like, any chance you can just get him in there, just to sort of keep the fucking wheels turning. That we are doing Flash one day, and but the funny part about that was Ezra Miller's Flash shows up and he thinks that Barry Allen Flash is a cosplayer. You want my
That's
autograph?
funny. Oh, because
he's like,
yeah, I'm looking at the suit right now. It looks terrible.
Oh, really?
Compared to I'm saying compare like the Flash TV show compared to Ezra Miller's, it's like, yeah, I can see why he would think that, because you have like Ezra Miller's looking like super super detailed, and then you have the other ones like not at all.
Yeah, and they make a thing like, fucking, Barry Allen from the DC TV is like, oh, it's very armored, and Ezra Miller's like, oh yeah, it looks very cozy, and they sort of compliment
Yeah,
each other on the suits. But
that's.
what I want for the Doctor Strange movie is a few cameos like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe just a
Oh,
hint.
I love that, and for
Yeah,
and that, they could easily do it with Fox, with the Fox characters.
yeah,
Sony ones are a little bit harder because now that Disney owns Fox, they kind of do whatever they want.
yeah,
Now it's just a matter of getting the actors to come aboard, but
yeah,
legally they could just, or like they could just write in that,
yeah.
oh yeah, this is from that, but now it's just a matter of getting the actors. But they again, back to like the Sony thing, because I keep bringing that up just 'cause it's so frustrating. Every party, like all the actors, all the studio, like everyone want this, like, because I know that like when the Spider-Man thing was happening last year, everyone was like, oh, it's just these corporations being greedy and not wanting to, like, they're holding on to the, it's like, no, no, yes, they're being greedy, but like everyone involved wants to make, to
Mm,
like have these characters work together. The actors do, the studio heads, like, it's just
yeah.
easy money to get all this stuff. So if they can, I'd love to see. I have a feeling there are some secret contracts that are happening that aren't public.
Hmm.
The reason why I'm saying that is because in the Morbius trailer we see Vulture, we
Yeah.
see Michael Keaton's Vulture, which we weren't supposed to see. They publicly announced, Sony. I don't know if it was Sony or Marvel, but they publicly announced how the current contract deal,
Hmm.
that Tom Holland is the only two characters that are allowed to cross between the MCU and the Sony verse,
Hmm.
the Sony villain verse, is Tom Holland Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson. Those are the only two
Yeah.
characters that were supposed to cross. They publicly said that, and then they go and release the Morbius trailer, and it's like, oh, by the way, Michael Keaton's Vulture is there, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you said so. I have a feeling that like, yeah, that's what they said publicly,
Yeah.
but there are probably secret just to get people like not even realizing that, like, no, I think they might be working things out.
I
So
think.
maybe
Yeah.
in Doctor Strange movie we might see something Spider-Man related.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
we
really hope
could
so.
now, like, I doubt it,
Mm.
but they could if there
Especially
are
if they've
these
got
secret
Sam
contracts that are
Raimi on
happening.
board. If Sam Raimi's
Well,
definitely on board, then yeah, you sort of need to have like a
I
bit of
don't
a
think.
hint to his old movies. I think.
Yeah, I'll see. Sam Raimi loves putting hints to his movies, but the one of the things I'm saying is like, oh, Sam Raimi's directing the movie, therefore we're gonna see Tobey
Mm.
Maguire Spider-Man. That's not what they mean. The director has nothing to do with this stuff, but
Yeah.
it's more of a chance. It's definitely more of a chance because Sam Raimi would want to push to get a reference in.
I
Uh,
guarantee that Bruce Campbell's
like,
going to show up in some fucking, some sort of
I
fucking
mean,
fashion.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
We're gonna see President for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be great.
Um, the one thing, like one theory that I heard online that I really hope is true, at the very end of the Doctor Strange movie, a portal opens up and Deadpool falls through. And
Very good.
sort of gets up and be like, oh, what's happened here? That way you can easy
Yeah,
enough just like, oh, we're just taking this one, sort of like
yeah,
what Howard the Duck did years ago. You know that story?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, with
Well, the original
what do you
creator
mean
of
the
Howard the Duck,
story?
like,
Okay.
he started his own story, and
Mhm.
anyway, because of contracts and stuff like that, he no longer owned Howard the Duck. So they brought him back for some sort of anniversary type of thing, and there was a whole story where Howard the Duck got cloned. Anyway,
Okay.
just as and he crosses over with the new story that he was doing at the time, and they grab Howard the Duck, the original one, and sort of jump back through a portal and say, oh well, the one that's left is actually technically the clone of Howard the Duck. You know what I mean? So going forward after that point, the Howard the Duck that shows up in the Marvel comic books is actually the clone of the original Howard the Duck. The original Howard the
Ah.
Duck is being taken back through the portal into the dimension that the creator owns. Even though he
Mhm.
can't technically use the character, he can just easily say, "No, I'm taking this back." You know what I mean? It's a little
Yeah.
bit of a sly sort of, aha, got him
Fun.
type of, so in joke type of thing. Um, but yeah, honestly, Doctor Strange, I was about to say three, is honestly the one movie that I'm looking forward to out of the entire
That is,
list
as soon
of.
as they announced that and the name of it, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I was
Mm,
like, this is. I love Doctor. My two favorite like comic characters were like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, like for Marvel. Like those are. This is why
mm,
like and we're getting into like good. I want to see some. I want to see some cosmic freaking weird H. Lovecraft-like creatures. I want to see what's the I can't think of why can't I think of the name? Whatever. There's so many there's so many cool things that they could do with Doctor Strange in this movie.
Yeah. I'm a bit disappointed that the main director from the first one got fired, but
He didn't get fired.
he didn't get fired. Oh, he
No,
left.
he left.
Uh,
He wanted. I have a feeling because Scott Derrickson kept wanting to say that's his name, right?
Scott Derrickson. Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Derrickson kept constantly every time he'd reference a movie, he'd want to say like it's gonna be a horror film, and Kevin Feige had to kept saying no, it's gonna be Marvel's first scary film because like Kevin Feige, trying to keep everything together, he's like no, like horror is a specific movie category. This isn't a horror film. This is a scary film. So we have to, and so I have a feeling Scott Derrickson wanted to lean more into the horror thing, and Kevin Feige probably was like, no, we have to keep it a little more grounded. We can have scary elements, but not a horror film. And I think Scott Derrickson, I think there was just a disconnect of where they wanted it to go. So now they're rewriting the script.
Yep.
I think. Or actually, I know they're definitely rewriting the script. So
yeah. Do you want to take the reins real quick? I got my phone's ringing. I don't know who's calling me. Do you want to take the reins of the podcast real quick?
Okay.
Just I don't know. I don't know. Talk about your lighting system or something. I don't know. I'll be back.
No one cares about my lighting system.
Just give me 2 seconds.
No, okay. Go. Yeah, I was like, or you can just edit this out. That's fine. Hi, if you didn't edit this out, hi, my name is Lewis. You can, I'll just plug myself. We'll just do that. You can follow me on Instagram at Fieldstone Studio, on Twitter at Fieldstone Music. You can watch my Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday at 7 to 10 PST, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. PST. Twitch.tv/Fieldstone. But God, this is hilarious. I really hope he cuts this out, just because this is ridiculous. And I never do podcasts on my own. I have my own podcast called The Last Episode. You can find that also. I do that with my friend, my co-host. I need someone else to bounce off of. When I stream, it's been weird streaming by myself because it's like, oh, I'm so used to having like someone else to bounce off of, and I just have someone to talk to. And at least with stream, it's like, oh, I have a chat. I can read the chat. But on a podcast, it's like, well, I have 0 people. I can't even like talk to. There's no chat. It's just me. Because I don't want to get too much into the other Marvel stuff without Mr. Learson here. Because I'm going to bring something up, and then he's going to be, oh, so what did you talk about? Okay, then let's bring you back to what I was saying. And I feel like I'll just be repeating myself. So, this is hilarious. Hilarious of me trying to fill time. That's what this is. He needs to stop talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's what this is. Everyone, don't watch that show. It's not good. It looks terrible. Just it's not going to be canon anymore. It's not going to matter. Don't do it. The only non-canon thing that you should watch is the Silver Surfer show from the 90s, because it's great. The animation is insane and the music is awesome. And then watch The Punisher on Netflix, because The Punisher is great. Those are the only 2 things that aren't canon that you should watch. And if you want to watch the X-Men show, you can, from the 90s also. Because if people like the animated 90s, X-Men, whatever. Hey, he's back!
Yep, hang on. Give me 2 seconds.
Yep.
There we go. Sorry about that. Had to take.
It's fine. I just plugged all of my social media stuff and Twitch and stuff. I didn't want to start going into other things that we were talking about, because then I'd have to recaps. Okay, so now that you were gone, it's like, oh, now that you're back, oh, I talked about these things. So whatever.
Don't worry,
I just talked about my Twitch. That's what I thought. That's what I was saying. He's gonna edit.
No, all good, man, all good. Usually, when I do Skype interviews like this, I just leave it all in. I barely ever even sort of edit it. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. It was me mum. Me mum ringing.
Fair.
Are you catching up with me for lunch today? I was like, yes, mum. I'll talk to you later. I'm doing a podcast. Is that interview thing? Yes, mum. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh god.
Yes, that's hilarious.
So anyway,
I
Doctor Strange.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be cool.
Honestly, I got so big hope for it. I'm just like, oh, don't disappoint me, please.
Yeah.
Nightmare would be an awesome character to dive into, but they sort of set up that the friend from the last one. What's his
It
name?
it crashed. I didn't hear anything you just said.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Say it again. Repeat yourself.
Well, okay. I don't know how far to go back. They set up the friend from the first movie, the guy that ends up going bad.
Oh, God, the main, I mean, Doctor
Yeah,
Strange's like main. I can't
yeah,
think of names right now because my brain's stupid. Doctor Strange, M something,
yeah. Moldo.
Mordo. There we go.
Is it Mordo?
Baron Carl Amadeus Mordo.
Okay.
Mordo.
Yeah, I want to sort of see that sort of paid off. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but I don't know
Well,
if
they
it's
could
going to be
easily
this movie.
start. I think it will. I think it could be. I don't know if it will be, but it could be. Uh, Mordo is, I mean, like the classic rival to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, yeah.
They could do you can do a lot of things. They could start the movie like the first third of it or whatever could be that,
Mhm.
and then Wanda kind of shows up, and then his what you can do is, for example, you can have the WandaVision series.
Mhm.
Their meeting could be from Wanda's perspective,
Yeah.
and then the movie could have their meeting be from Doctor Strange's perspective. Have the exact same
Okay.
scene but from a different perspective, happening a little bit into the movie after like now
Yeah.
you could start literally just start the movie with like him fighting Mordo and like so that it instantly gets the audience up to speed. It was like, by the way, there's been a little bit of
Mhm.
time jump here. This is what's been happening since then. Doctor Strange's been fighting Mordo.
Yeah.
Cool. And then stop, whatever. There's like, oh, I'll catch you next time, and then they just, they go their separate
Yeah.
ways. That's when Doctor Strange gets to like, hey, something's happening in the multiverse. Then he meets up with Wanda and then brings her out from her thing, and that's how that's a good way to do that. You can have that's a good like introduction to like. By the way, Mordo is important. We're just not going to focus too much on him in this movie, but
Yep.
he is a villain.
I think they'll do. I really hope that they sort of put together a bit of a team. You know what I mean? And was it?
Well, it is.
Well, yeah. You got Wanda
Hey, you should stop
already there.
smoking, man. It's bad for you.
Who's no? Who? Don't judge me, man. It made me feel guilty now.
Continue.
Um, now I don't know what to do. I want to smoke. um, God damn it.
You said you wanted them to
Yeah.
the team.
Okay. I want Cleo. The
Mhm.
one for the comic books. I can't think of her name.
Yep.
And
It's.
Doctor Voodoo. Brother Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
If they like bring those and WandaVision and Doctor Strange, those four characters to sort of set up a team. And then at the very end of the movie,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange sort of turns around and is like, okay, yeah, this kind of works, but I need to set up my own type of team, leading into something along the lines of Midnight Suns.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's sort of what I think, and he can be the Nick Fury of the Midnight Suns. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just in case, bad shit happens again, I've got this team here that can go up, yeah, go forward and, yeah.
Shumagarath is the freaking name of the squid thing that I was thinking of. I
Oh!
want to see Shumagarath.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. See, the thing about Doctor
I want to
Strange is
see.
what I love is, like, all those guys who are creating it, just sitting in the 60s popping acid and going, oh,
Oh
look
no,
at
yeah.
this, let's draw this
Well,
fucking
they were
thing.
reading. They were reading H.P. Lovecraft doing drugs, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, let's just put H.P. Lovecraft villains into this thing, or
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft characters, whatever, into this.
Yeah,
Literally,
because
all it was.
there's no real copyright when it comes to H.P. Lovecraft. Like,
No, it's all
mm-mm.
free domain or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck you, I'm having my fun. Alright.
Whatever you want, I don't care. I was making a joke.
Yeah,
I will
I
give
know. But
you also.
you literally made me feel guilty then. I was just like literally sitting there hanging on to it. I'm like, no, fuck it.
I mean, I'm not the one killing myself.
I've died worse than that of a fucking cigarette.
I want to see Mephisto.
Yeah. Fucking oath.
That'd be good. There's so many like great. I literally had to type in like Doctor Strange Phillips because I was like, oh man, there's so many of these that are just so good.
Mm, if okay, if it wasn't Nightmare, who do you think would be the best villain?
Oh, probably Mephisto.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone who is like, yeah, someone who is like we can't have Shumagarath as like a main villain
Mm.
for a movie like this. I don't think we're not there yet. We
He
might
could
see him.
he could act like a giant monster thing that gets sent by Nightmare or something like that. Like, you know.
Yeah. Though I think they'll do Shumagarath the same way they did like the Elementals in the last Spider-Man movie,
Yeah.
where instead of like going into detail about to who these Elementals are and what why it's just like they're just kind of there. It's a reference, whatever.
I think Fin Fang
It'll
Foom's
make the
gonna
fans
act the
happy if they
same
catch
way
it.
in Shang-Chi. I think
If
that's how
what?
I think that's how they're gonna do Fin Fang Foom in
Oh,
Shang-Chi.
yeah. We're not going to see like an actual
Yeah.
dragon. Yeah, be some.
Yeah, some little
Yeah,
bit of
it'll be
a sort of reference type of thing. Honestly, I just had this idea. Wouldn't it be cool? What's his name? Dormammu? I come the bargain.
Dormammu. Yeah.
Yeah, I come the bargain. If the Midnight Suns was the team that Doctor Strange put together in order to go up against Dormammu.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, like you gotta have a
So, like finish Dormammu?
yeah, you have to have a big threat in order to put any sort of team together. Yeah.
So Dormammu can't. That can't. So they Dormammu as a character in Doctor Strange, because you have to understand where Doctor Strange gets his power from.
Mm,
Doctor Strange gets his power from tapping into other gods from other universes
yeah.
and other worlds and stuff. Dormammu is one of them.
Yeah.
In the I'm hoping maybe even in this movie or another Doctor Strange movie we get into. I want to see Dormammu again and get like the relationship between Doctor Strange and Dormammu, because in the
Mm,
comics it kind of just starts where, because one of the things that Doctor Strange says all the time, by the power of the dread Dormammu, like
mm,
Doctor Strange uses Dormammu's powers the same way what's her name did, the
yeah.
uh
Oh,
Sorcerer
yeah,
Supreme,
yeah. The ancient
the
one.
previous Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ancient one. The way the ancient one did it, uh, that's what Doctor Strange did in the comics. I mean,
Mm,
they kind of moved a little bit around in the movie to make it to like, oh, it's the villain, it's like the bad part of the powers. But I want to see the conversation between like Doctor Strange and Dormammu again. It's like, understand, I need your powers.
yeah.
You know I can annoy you until you just get bored.
Yeah.
So can I just use some? Can we have a relationship here where I can use some of your powers when I need it,
Yeah.
and not abuse it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to see.
Well,
Because again, Dormammu is an important being in Doctor Strange's world.
he needs to be the big bad at one stage or another. Like how they set him up in the first
He
movie.
does. I don't.
Like,
I don't think. Well, Dormammu. I don't look at Dormammu as a big. Mordo is the big bad
okay.
in my opinion. I feel like Mordo is. Yeah, Dormammu is not a big bad. That's not what I look at Dormammu as. Dormammu is just like he's kind of like Galactus, where
Yeah.
it's just like he's a bad, sure, I guess, but he's there for a reason. Like it's a little bit different because
Mm,
Galactus does bad things. Dormammu doesn't do bad things. He just kind of
hmm.
exists uh, as an entity, and people you abuse that power.
Okay. Okay. Sort of
It's kind
like
of
a villain from the first movie. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah, he was sort of tapping in. Yeah. Okay. I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Well.
That's why having Doctor Strange become, the Sorcerer Supreme and like trying to, because event I want to see I want to see enough Doctor Strange where we get like I want to see like Doctor Strange become like the most I want to see like old school comic Doctor Strange level of power where
Mm,
he's literally the strongest thing ever, and then something happens where he loses half of it or something,
yeah.
like in the comics where the reason why Doctor Strange is as powerful he used to be, there was going to happen where he had to kind of like pretty much all the gods kind of turned on Doctor Strange and stopped giving him power. And
Okay.
so that I want to see that arc happen to Doctor Strange, where he gets too much power and
Mm,
then they take it away. And like I want to see that happen, and him teaming up with Dormammu kind of to like get that power would be a good way to do that, I think. But
yeah.
and even at the end of the movie, you can have it so where like Doctor Strange realizes even him and Wanda aren't strong enough to defeat Nightmare. It's like, oh, I need to go to Dormammu to get some power to defeat Nightmare
Yeah.
or
Well,
something like that.
again, that could easily enough lead into the because I think he's just I don't know. Like I'm not. Again, I'm not a big Marvel reader. I've read the big ones,
I
Civil
only pretend to
War,
be.
and hey,
I was like, I only pretend to be. Real Marvel fans are gonna notice all of my flaws in my.
why does he have to
I
be
know a good
googling
amount.
all this stuff? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, literally, yeah, literally.
But at the end of the day, to me, it's just like he just seems like the number one threat that's sort of gonna play a play a role in the third act or the third movie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah,
know
we
what.
definitely. I think Mordo would be a better third act. I think
Mm,
introduce the conflict in this movie. You have to. I think if you introduce the conflict in the third movie, it'll be too late.
yeah,
It'll be too rushed feeling.
yeah,
Introduce the fact that like now this is a rival
yeah.
to Doctor Strange in this movie, but then kind of put it on the wayside. Understand like this will matter later,
Hmm.
but right now we have to deal with something else.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only thing, because when they said that like we have Wanda teaming up with Doctor Strange, I kept thinking like, well, what would that be? Like, why?
Mm,
What? And now that we're getting the WandaVision, and like we know that like he's creating some sort of or at least he's in some sort of weird universe thing where Vision can be back alive and
yeah,
time can be weird, and so we know that there's some universe mishap happening.
yeah,
So it would make sense to combine the two. It's like, well, what other Doctor Strange villains then would match both of these things? Would
yeah,
match the stuff that's happening in Washington and the stuff that Doctor Strange could potentially be doing. That's why Nightmare is the only, like, really the most logical villain for this movie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, like I'm really looking forward to this movie, and I just hope it doesn't disappoint. A big thing about the new
Yeah.
phase of movies is I'm just like, I don't know these characters all that well. It's easy enough to see that one of these might be Marvel's first big flop. And people
It'll
say that
probably
about
be
Ant-Man,
Scarlet
but
Witch.
sorry,
No, yeah, Scarlet Witch will probably Scarlet Witch or not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow will most likely be the flop.
you
We're gonna
reckon?
start with a flop.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no one cares.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about. No one. Like nobody casual.
Hmm.
That's the thing. You gotta if the casual people because casuals will talk about Eternals the
Yeah.
same way they talk about Guardian of the Galaxy. Because it's like I don't know who this is. Can someone explain? No
Yeah.
one like everyone's like, oh yeah, Black Widow. I forgot she died. Right? Wait, did she die? I don't get it. I don't
Hmm.
care. She's dead. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it could be like, but I don't know. There's that movie looks more like Winter Soldier than anything that's come prior to that. So I really hope
Yeah.
that it sort of gets that sort of aesthetic and yeah, but
Well, yeah, I mean, the movie's going to be tying into the other side of the Civil War conflict.
mm,
Because remember, Civil War never ended in the MCU.
yeah,
Because the Civil War comic, you read the Civil War, like the Civil War comics are massive. There was
yeah,
like a large scale thing that it took forever.
mm-hmm,
And so the MCU never finished that conflict really.
no,
There's still so many. This is why the Thunderbolts I feel like is another aspect of them finishing Civil War. This movie, the Black Widow movie, I think is going to kind of tie in a lot of those loose ends.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, getting
so
away from that for a second and talking about
yeah,
Spider-Man
what
3.
else?
Now, it's slated here that it's going to be between Doctor Strange and Thor 4.
Yeah,
But that's just Wikipedia, so who knows, exactly. But the way that Sony likes to release those movies, I think it's like every 3 years they do a Spider-Man film. So it would be
yeah,
probably about 3 years after Far From Home that this will come out.
yeah. So
Yeah.
God.
No, you're right.
This is one of those. This is gonna be another one of those things where just like there's no way to talk about this without explaining all the backstory,
Mm,
like all the stuff with Sony, like
yeah.
the license. It depends. It depends on what Morbius is. It's hard for me to predict what this next Spider-Man movie until I see Morbius. Until we know exactly because we know that again, all parties involved want to see Venom versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We want to see Absolute Carnage because the current Absolute Carnage run that just finished was amazing. Comic. I never read it, but I need to because everyone said like that comic run was fantastic. Like
Okay.
and they're teasing Carnage obviously at the end of Venom. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna see some, and obviously we gotta see Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Mm.
Put on the black suit. We gotta
He's
see that
only
happen.
got two
Like
more movies in his contract. Like,
yeah, doesn't mean they want to re-up the contracts.
well, that's true.
Remember, well, these contracts are Remember, these contracts are movie to movie at this point. They have one movie. He has one movie for MCU, and then as many cameos as Sony wants to do in their villainverse, and then after that movie comes out, then they'll be renegotiating. This is what makes like this current contract that we know of, the current public knowledge,
Yeah.
so frustrating. Someone like me like loves Spider-Man. It's just like, just now every single movie, like after once Spider-Man 3 comes out, then we're like, now we're back to like what's gonna happen because now they have to
Mm,
re-up another contract because it's every movie at this point
yeah.
that they're gonna have to re-up the contract.
I
This is
thought that
why we have to kind
was
of wait to see how Morbius does, how
yeah.
well it performs, what they do with that movie in terms of like tying
Mm,
other characters in Spider-Man. Or they because they're setting up a Sinister Six for sure.
mm,
Sony is. Marvel probably wants that to happen for Spider-Man. It's a good arc for that character to
mm,
have to fight a Sinister Six. So now it's just a matter of these two massive studios working together to get that to happen. Regardless, the original plan that Amy Pascal and her team wanted to do was Kraven the Hunter
yeah.
for Spider-Man 3. Uh, that might happen, that might not happen. I don't know.
See,
That's what the original plan was.
I had no
So,
idea because I like, again like when I was young, living pretty much fucking where I do, like in the middle of fucking bumfuck fucking Australia.
yeah,
There's no fucking comic book stores here. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you got the post office and stuff like that. But that like you'd get one issue of Spider-Man and it'd be one of say four. I'd never
Yeah, this is a random
yeah,
issue.
I'd never know how the story
There's
would end. You know what I mean?
It's like Spider-Man I think is like the longest running. I
Yeah.
think it has the most issues of comics like compared like any Marvel comic, maybe even any other like whatever, but
Mm.
like 900 issues or something, like some insane number.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well,
and so it's like yeah, I'm reading issue 723, and then the next one I get is 104, and then the next one I get is like 802, and it's like I don't know what's happening.
exactly.
Who's Miles Morales? I don't get it.
Well, I remember when I was young, I had a Craven the Hunter toy. Now I had
Oh
no
really?
idea the
That's such a
backstory.
that's such a random character to
Yeah,
have.
I know, but to me, he was a good guy. You know what I mean? Like, and
Oh, that's funny.
like, and I had a Spider-Man figurine as well. I think they came in a sort of double pack type of thing. So you had Craven and Spider-Man when you sort of brought this
Hmm.
toy, these two toys together. And yeah, in my mind, oh, they're friends. They're in the same box together. So obviously they're
Yeah.
fucking friends, And I never
Yeah.
looked at him as a bad guy. And
That's
then
funny.
my dickhead of a brother threw me fucking Spider-Man toy on top of the roof. So I, yeah, he cracked the shits with me, and so he grabbed my fucking Spider-Man toy and threw it on the roof. And then fucking not even my roof. He threw it on my neighbor's roof. So it was just
Rip.
gone forever. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it wasn't until like years later we're sitting around having a beer, and he's just like, I was like, I wonder what ever happened to that toy, man. And he's like, oh, I threw it on the roof. You what? You fucking dick! And he's like, oh, you pissed me off. What did I do? Well, I can't remember, man. It's like fucking 15, 20 years ago. Um, but I just remember like, what was it? Yeah. Then years later, finding out that fucking. I also had another Marvel character. He was a Shield agent. He used to show up in the X-Men. It was like a grey hair guy with a goatee, grey goatee. Fucking hell.
Shield
Yeah,
agent?
he was a Shield agent. They used to constantly come, headbutt with
Or,
fucking, with the X-Men. Like he had a big thing against the mutants. What was his fucking name?
oh, they did this character in the Fox movies, didn't they?
I think they
In
might
the
have
first
referenced him, but I can't be sure. Yeah, yeah, black character, grey hair, grey goatee. I can't think of his fucking name.
uh, yeah, I can't. It'll take too long for me to find him.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, and like those three were my fucking favorite fucking toys growing up, and that one there with the fucking grey goatee, I remember reading the back of the box, going, I can't say that. Your name's now Fireball, and I gave him a completely different origin story. Anyway, but what I'm trying to get at is comic books weren't readily available, so I had to sort of make up my own fucking stories and stuff like that. And when
Yeah,
finding out
yeah,
that when I finally got around to reading Craven's Last Hunt. I remember thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. Like fucking,
yeah. And
finally
then,
I get to see
yeah.
my two
Why?
favorite
Why is he
characters
fighting
team up.
Spider?
Yeah,
Why is he
exactly.
trying to kill Spider-Man?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was fucking devastated, man. It's like, why is Spider-Man in a black suit? I don't understand any of this. Um, but when it comes to Spider-Man 3, I really hope that they do a variation of Craven's Last Hunt. Because if you look at some of the behind the scenes, they've actually teased in, I think it's Morbius or Venom, one of the two, that Craven's actually out there somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
And I think,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Amy Pascal's team or whatever, like I think they said that that's what the next villain
Yeah,
That's what their plan. Their plan was to have that. So,
yeah. I
um,
hope they don't rush Sinister Six though. I want Spider-Man
oh
6 to be the team up Sinister Six movie.
well, again,
Mm,
okay, the Sony stuff. If
mm,
they can combine the Sony is setting up the is Sinister Six.
yeah,
Uh, like it's up to them. So we all, but if we combine the two studios, the villains that we have are what is it? We have Vulture,
yeah,
Venom,
yeah.
if you want to count that, I guess. But whatever. What is it? So Vulture,
Uh, My-
Mysterio,
Mysterio.
Raven, if we want. We have
Mm,
Scorpion.
mm-hmm,
Um, so really,
yeah,
we need Doc Ock in that,
yeah.
obviously. So we're going to need a Doc Ock in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, then it's like, well, how crazy do we want to get? We can get to where Spider-Man teams up with Venom and Carnage is part of the Sinister Six.
Yeah. See,
Like
I,
they can shorten it, do that, or just have another villain in there somewhere.
I just hope that when they get to say Spider-Man 6, they go back and they use Mysterio, fucking,
It won't be
Craven.
it won't be that late. They're doing it way earlier
Yeah,
than that.
I know, but
It's not gonna take that
this
long.
is just my little dream. You know what I mean? For the
Spider-Man
sixth
4 will be
movie,
Sinister Six.
you reckon?
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
I just think that's too soon because you get
I don't
six
think so. I think
movies.
well again, I think the reason it's not too soon is because of the villain, of Sony's villainverse stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I'm assuming that Marvel and Sony will work out a deal to make movies together,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a better deal than what they already have.
Yep. Yep.
And so setting up all the villains with the villainverse, because what other? There's another character that Sony wants to do for the villainverse, and I forgot what it
Oh.
was. Sony.
Yeah.
I do know that Madam Web is a character that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is again why I'm like they're doing live action Spider-Verse for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see. Casting characters. Here we go. And these are all the confirmed ones. I need all the not rumored, but all the other ones that they were saying. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Every Spider-Man villain spinoff they're doing. Oh, okay, so Venom, Morbius, Black Cat,
Black Cat.
Silver,
Oh.
Silver and Black Cat apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
and then Craven, Mysterio. Okay, yeah, this is an old article, but
Mm.
Black Cat was the one that is that they're planning on doing.
Yeah.
So Black Cat is one that they confirmed I think are doing also. So that'll be the other one I guess.
I don't.
Look, who cares? I don't care about Black Cat, but whatever.
Again, like fucking, in my own head, like my own little, theory would be like, just to tell them just to, wait a minute, do like three
Not
more
waiting.
movies.
This is
Yeah, I know.
that's way too long. That's way too.
Yeah.
Look, that all the movie that's a Morbius movie, a Black Cat movie. We have Mysterio has his own movie. We had Vulture had his own movie. Scorpion, the only one that we don't have in his own movie yet is really Scorpion, and we have two. That's two villains that we don't have at that point. We have to have Scorpion either be in his own movie or be in a movie with Spider-Man or just team up with another one, and then Doc Ock. That's it. We just need two more movies.
Yeah. Well, how do you think the third one's going to play out, considering the twist at the end of the second?
I know, dude. That twist at the end of the second makes things so frustrating. Why? It's
Yeah.
it completely changes what Spider-Man, like all of the ideas that Spider-Man that I have with Spider-Man really. I mean, other than like specific villains, but like where I thought the character would go, like the character itself. Like,
Yep.
wow, I have no idea.
Well,
I don't know.
they're probably going to pull in like a one more day type of scenario where they make Doctor Strange make everyone forget, or they do some sort of,
That'd be nice.
I don't know.
I think that's a mistake, actually. I think
Well, they did
revealing
that
his
for Civil
identity
War.
early.
After Peter Parker revealed himself at the end of Civil War, I think it was Doctor Strange that sort of did some mumbo jumbo and sort of fixed it, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, in the comics.
In the comics, yeah, in the comics.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the movie.
Oh, no.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to do with that. Like, he sort of did something to sort of refix.
Yeah, that's why I'm like they could. Yeah, because I think it's a mistake for them to reveal his identity this early
and sort of
into
keep it on a
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I don't think Spider-Man should ever have his fucking identity revealed.
I don't mind. I don't mind it. I think it's too early. I think they should have waited after Sinister Six because I feel like I think we should be focusing on like I mean I think we both agree like we could be focusing on setting up Sinister 6
Mm-hmm.
and we should be setting up Sinister 6 and also setting up Spider-Verse.
Yep. Yep.
That's two crazy insane conflicts.
Mm.
We don't unless the Spider-Verse is the Sinister 6. I mean unless we have all the which they could combine the two. Regardless, we have a crazy conflict already. Now having on top of that Peter Parker have to deal with the fact that now everyone knows he's Spider-Man. I feel like that's too many.
Mm-hmm.
That's too many conflicts.
Yeah.
I don't want a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 issue where we have like one movie having to deal with like 17 different things. It's just like a mess. And I feel like that's kind of where they're heading.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, like if we're talking about Spider-Verse, only thing I want to see, you can throw Venom and maybe Spider-Gwen in there as well. But I just want to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland Spider-Man teaming up to take on like, whatever villain.
And again, every part. That's why I keep saying everyone involved wants to do this.
Yeah.
Like, the actors want to do it. The studios wants to do it. Again, it's contracts. It's just figuring out the right words to put on paper to make that work.
Even bring back Sam Raimi if he's on a good fucking base like after doing Doctor Strange 2. Bring him back to do one last Spider-Man film.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the Sam Raimi movies at all.
What?
Like the Spider-Man movies.
Oh.
They're terrible. I hate those movies.
Oh, dude. Fucking Spider-Man 2 is a classic.
Oh. No, Spider-Man 2 sucks. I don't understand. I do not understand how people can watch Spider-Man 2 and think, that was a great movie, 8 out of 10. Like,
what? What's wrong?
Oh, it's so bad.
What are your problems? Why?
Tobey Maguire sucks as Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is a terrible actor as Peter Parker. And Sam Raimi is so campy with that character, with the way he directs.
Yeah.
I don't really like Sam Raimi director even. He's an important director for sure, but I don't think he has a style. He has a style. There's a Sam Raimi style that no one else should emulate. It's just that's Sam Raimi style. I don't think that works when you have an actor like Tobey Maguire not like being. It's not even awkward. It's just like quiet. It's kind of like It reminds me of George Lucas directing the prequels. It's like these are just wooden. Tobey Maguire's performance is so wooden and just boring.
But he cries in every movie. What are you talking about? He's
not charismatic at all. I don't believe any of the emotions he's trying to convey at all. It's not. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Doc Ock is a cool character. It's easy to look at Spider-Man 2 and think that's cool because Doc Ock is cool. Like.
Yeah.
But the movie is terrible.
I don't know. Like, see, I was at the cinema watching those movies. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man 1 to 3, and to me, it's like comparing them to the Christopher Reeve Superman films. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah, like these are objectively not great, but
yeah.
I mean, but
based
they're
on
important.
Nostalgia, I think that they. You know,
it's Michael Keaton's Batman. It's Michael Keaton's Batman. Same thing.
Yeah.
Or it's just like this isn't good, but I like it.
Yeah, Batman flat out fucking murdering dudes left and fucking right, and
Yeah. But you had a good time. You still have a good time, even though it's like these aren't good. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I would never.
Yeah.
I would never say these are good, even if I like.
I don't know. Like to me, like those movies there are just sort of you don't have the Marvel movies now without having those Marvel movies there. You know.
Oh, they're super important.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
Kevin Feige's working on those. Kevin Feige's been working on like every single like Marvel thing since like the 90s.
Yeah, I remember seeing a photo just recently. I think it was that Emergency Awesome. Was it Charlie? I think his name is. Posted on Twitter.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Photo of Kevin Feige and Sam Raimi and a few other people behind the scenes. You know, and I think he was talking about the new Doctor Strange movie. You know, but yeah. All right. Well, we've got one more movie before we can get into the other TV shows that are coming out, and that is Thor 4. Because we can make this whole fucking podcast about Spider-Man and the complications. Like, I know. You know, but I'll sort of
something a little easier.
Yeah, put a cap on that for now. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit yet?
Jojo Rabbit is my favorite World War II movie of all time.
Oh, that is absolutely awesome. It
is legitimately my favorite World War II movie of all time.
Yeah, I watched it with Dad. It was this weekend actually, And that scene where he's walking along, I remember watching the movie. I'm like, why are they paying so much attention to fucking Scarlett Johansson's feet? I mean, it's not a fucking Quentin Tarantino movie, you know.
Don't spoil the movie. Don't spoil the movie.
Oh,
People, a lot of people have not seen this.
oh, okay. Oh, well, if you
Yeah, it's
haven't
so
seen
unrelated to
Jojo
Marvel.
Rabbit, like,
Everyone watch Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, everyone go watch Jojo Rabbit. It's fantastic. It
it's
is.
more
It's such
emotional
a,
than you think it would be.
it's
For,
a real movie.
yeah,
It's yeah. This is why I'm saying it's my favorite. It changed what I thought World War II movies could be.
yeah,
Like it's yeah.
yeah. No, exactly.
Well, I didn't know you could I didn't know you could make a movie that had that many emotions in it.
Yeah, that one scene, you know the one I'm talking about. Like it just like literally fuck. I remember turning to Dad. I'm like, I think I'm gonna cry. Like
Yeah, no, yeah,
I legitimately feel like I'm gonna fucking cry, and I didn't think I was gonna get
yeah.
that from a
Taika
movie like this.
Waititi is. I now need to go back and watch What We Do in the Shadows because I've never seen it. I never saw the show or the movie.
Dude, that's
Uh,
fucking
and
brilliant.
so
The TV show
yeah,
is
and now I need
fine.
now I yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
now I have to go back because it's Taika Waititi and that's
yeah,
I never saw it and then Thor Ragnarok I thought was fine. I think the issue I had with Thor Ragnarok is that it was caught in that development thing, and this is why I'm kind of afraid for Doctor Strange to do the same thing.
mm,
We're having because I think Thor Ragnarok was it was again supposed to be something completely different. It wasn't supposed to be as wacky as it was. It's supposed to be super serious. Just look up the title.
mm,
Just look up the like logo for like the original logo for Thor Ragnarok. Look, you see it and you're like, oh yeah, they're just gonna do Dark World again. Just another serious,
mm,
boring. And they switched directors, got Taika Waititi on board. And was like, nah, we're making this movie fun. Thor should be fun.
yeah, yeah,
And and the issue I have with Thor Ragnarok is that it has too many serious moments
mm,
that don't work. That didn't have enough time to sit. I think correctly
yeah.
with Taika Waititi and him having to fix it. And so I'm hoping now that with Thor 4, it's just all him, all his idea to like him, Kevin Feige and
Who
everyone,
was
all the
supposed to
writers
be
and everyone obviously.
directing for Ragnarok before Wakiti came on board? I didn't even know about this, that the director switched
I
up.
don't remember
What's going on? You get a bit of a delay.
Ragnarok original director. Let me see. To the internet.
Yeah, poor connection, yep.
Well, it was co-directed, I guess, with him and Alan Taylor.
Oh, Taylor, who's that? I think that's
That
the,
could be it. Oh, here we go. What Thor Ragnarok, what Thor 3 looked like before Taika Waititi. Here we go. Um, it was Thor Ragnarok. Just going through that the MCU set up. Jesus Christ, I hate articles like this. Just give me the answer. Where it's like 17 paragraphs before I get to. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here's the first logo. Major role. Who else could have directed? Here we go. Ruben Fleischer, Rob Letterman, Rawson Marshall Thurber. There were 3 different directors that they were talking to at the time that I think all had their own idea of what it should be,
Yeah.
and Marvel kind of already planned out. I think they already had writers planning out what the movie was going to be, and then Taika Waititi, once he got on board, they completely changed what the mood of the movie was. A lot of the same plot points still happened, obviously, but the mood of it was so different that they had to write around the mood.
Yeah, right.
And so now having with Thor 4 all him, they can write the movie. They can write like the story around like all of Taika Waititi's vision, kind of, which I think will be good. Swear to God, if we don't see Beta Ray Bill in this movie, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm going home.
Well,
They wanted to put Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok, but they thought that not too quick. We want to do Beta Ray Bill correctly. So let's scrap it and give him a proper introduction. So Beta Ray Bill will be in the MCU, and I think this would be a good time to do it.
Instead of having Hulk in there, that should have been Beta Ray Bill. You know what I mean? Like
originally it was.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then they wanted more.
I got a friend of mine that absolutely hates Thor Ragnarok. You know, with a fucking
Your
passion.
camera froze for me, by the way.
Hey? Oh.
Your camera completely froze for me. I don't know if your camera's.
Yeah, right on when I'm having a fucking drag of a cigarette. Fucking hell. Anyway, it does this from time to time. Fucking hell. It looks so fucking pale. Don't worry, what I'll do is, what's pretty much happened is I'll have to throw in a picture of myself going forward. Because this is what happened when I was interviewing the director. when I was doing
Okay.
the podcast with Brian Usner. It literally froze like fucking half an hour in, so I just fucking had to edit it. It doesn't matter. You know, so if suddenly you see,
Anyways.
like, I got accused of using my Tinder profile picture when I when I threw it up there. My mate's like, you know, oh, what's
That's
that
funny.
thing? You really have to use your Tinder fucking profile picture for that? I was like, it's a nice photo, man. Not my fucking Tinder fucking profile, you bastard. Anyway, I got a friend of mine that absolutely hates fucking Thor Ragnarok. You know, with a fucking passion.
Why? It's
Because
great.
because of the silly tone. She just doesn't like the tone of the movie.
It was unbalanced. I had the first time I saw Thor Ragnarok, I did not like it at all. I thought it was so unbalanced. There
Yeah.
were it moved so harshly between serious and not.
Yeah.
And so I don't disagree with this person. This is why I'm hoping with Thor 4 it'll be more unified theme.
Yeah.
It's like it's yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think she was a huge fan of the first Thor movie. Like the
Gross.
characterization of Thor right up until that point. You know what I mean? The serious sort of gruff type of character. You know, like it was in the first two movies, Avengers. Yeah, she likes that
I hated
version of
those
Thor.
Thor. Oh, that's the worst version of Thor.
Well,
So boring.
well, to her, that was her favorite fucking, favorite
Her
fucking.
opinion is wrong.
I'm gonna tag her in this and be like, this is what my mate Lewis thinks of your fucking critique of Thor Ragnarok. You know, you'll probably get a fucking
Incorrect
very
opinion.
harsh email in the next 2 weeks or so when this goes up. But
You could yell at me during my Twitch streams. Twitch.tv/field so.
I've actually brought a couple of people over to that.
I've noticed.
Yeah, they're just like fucking, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm watching me mate playing video games. And they're like, what? Then I explain Twitch. Oh, yeah, I know Twitch. All right, I'll come over. And,
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun.
But Thor 4, yeah, it needs Beta Ray Bill. They're hinting whether or not that they're going to do the cancer line with Jane Foster. You know, maybe they
Probably.
might. Yeah, I think they should.
This is probably. Yeah, I think they should too. I think do that, which is why have her get the Lady Thor stuff, and then.
And you need Loki in there as well. Honestly, like.
Does that come before or after the Loki show?
That's after. Loki's
Okay.
filming the end of this year, start of next year.
Yeah, good. Okay, cool.
What was that theory that I was reading online? That they're literally setting up. Oh, that's right. With the time travel thing for Loki, apparently they're introducing Kang the Conqueror as a big villain for.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's a rumor at the moment, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
But honestly, you can't do a Thor movie without having Loki in it. I know.
You have to.
He's not the biggest part of the movies, but he's the best part of the movies. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime Loki shows up, it's always a good time, and especially that version of Loki, the one that hasn't quite been redeemed yet. You know.
Yeah. Have another redemption arc. Just do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly. And just the idea of like reintroducing it, like Thor getting a second chance to have his brother back, I think will really help the.
What would be really neat? And I don't think they'll do this, but if in the Loki show, Loki ends up being like his own redemption arc in the show, that he ends up being able to wield the power of Thor and gets the hammer, and then brings the hammer back to the MCU, like the normal MCU timeline, and then
that's where
loses it, and then and then Jane Foster gets
that's more unlikely what's probably going to happen. But again, like they'll have to have like the writers of the Loki show working really close with Taika Waititi in order to sort of set something like that up. But again, Thor Ragnarok was one of my favorite Infinity Saga movies. I think it's probably in.
Yeah, after watching it, like I've watched it like 2 or 3 times. It's very good. I don't know if I put it in my top 5 or anything, but it's very, very good. It's one of the better ones.
I'd put it right up there with Winter Soldier. I think that and Winter Soldier is some of the best fucking content from that whole Infinity Saga.
I never liked Winter Soldier that much. I like it. It's great, but it's not. Again, probably not even in my top 5. I don't know. I should do a top 5. I don't know. I don't know my top 5.
put at the end of this video, maybe just what would be the top 5 fucking, Infinity Saga movies. But, considering we're practically talking about it right now, what are your hopes for the Loki TV show?
Do we want to just go into all the shows, or just Loki one
Well,
specifically?
no, well, considering we just talked about Thor, we'll just dive into
Yeah, fair
Loki
enough.
and, go on from
I don't
there.
know. I have no expectations. I don't know. We don't know what that show is, and I know nothing about it yet.
Yeah,
It could be a lot of things.
yeah.
Whatever the events of Doctor Strange will tie into why the stuff that movie I know is going to end up tying into the Loki show.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I wonder if Loki would show up in
so
Doctor Strange. That'd be interesting.
maybe
You know, like
we'll probably see him because it's Multiverse of Madness. We'll probably see him in it actually,
yeah,
and that's why I'm saying like the events of that what happens in there is probably going to set off. Maybe just like throw Nightmare into that universe, and then Loki has to fight Nightmare.
that would be pretty cool.
That'd be funny.
I know that Owen Wilson's just been cast in Loki.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently he's playing. They haven't exactly said who he's playing yet, but fans online think that he might be playing one of the time agents. What is it? Time.
Yes, you know what? Yes, because they are doing the time agent stuff.
Yeah.
In the show.
So
So all the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
Is gonna. Yeah.
More than likely, that's what it's going to be. He's going to be one of those sort of characters chasing Loki around. They've announced a bunch of other characters, but the actors I'm not 100%. They haven't said who exactly is who. You know what I mean? They're not saying, oh, this
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Yeah. So they've just said, oh, this actress has just joined it. And a lot of fans out there are like, ooh, is she going to be the female Loki? I'm like, you're not going to do a female Loki when you still got Tom Hiddleston. Like, maybe female Loki later on down the track, but not right now.
Nope.
Loki is one of those shows that I'm really looking forward to. I think it's probably, when it comes to the Disney Plus shows, second only to maybe Moon Knight. And I'm just looking forward to see what they actually end up doing with the Moon Knight concept.
Number one for me is WandaVision, and then probably Moon Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love those characters.
Yeah. Well, okay. Falcon. Okay, we'll start from what's coming out first, which is the Falcon Winter Soldier. How do you feel about Falcon becoming the new Captain America? I don't think he, honestly, like.
Well, he's not.
Well, he's got the shield. You know what I mean? Like.
No, but they said that he's not. Will always call him. He will never be called Captain America. They already said that he will always be called Falcon.
Oh, really?
Taking up the man. Yeah. He might still have the shield. Like he might end up using the shield, but will always be called Falcon.
Oh, okay. Well, I still think that DC does it pretty well when it comes to, what do they call it, like mantle characters. Like passing down the torch. Green Lantern does it all the time. Flash has done it plenty of times, where it's just the mantle. You know what I mean? Like
the Robin character is like probably the best example of this.
Yeah, or even Flash. Like I think there's been 4 different people be the Flash over the fucking course of
Marvel does it every once in a while. Like Venom is a good example. I mean, Spider-Man is a really good example too. I mean, the amount of Spider-Man that we have now is pretty good. But it's not as good. They're trying. Marvel has been trying to do like the different versions of characters more recently in the like mid to late 2005s to like 2015. That decade has been. I mean, that's when we got like the Lady Thor stuff. That's when we got to the freaking Ironheart and all this other stuff. Like, we have different versions of all, and they have been failing at it terribly because they didn't set any of it up, and it's all obvious. Actual social justice garbage, but
I understand that. And like, if you read
the Lady Thor one, apparently is really good. I've never read that stuff, but apparently that stuff actually makes sense and is good because it's not what people thought it was.
I put that book down.
People say it.
I've never actually finished that one because like the first one, they go up against she goes up against Rhino, and he's like giving her shit about being a woman and all this sort of stuff like that, and she just kicks his ass, and I'm like, no. You know what I mean? This doesn't look like it's for me. And the Unworthy Thor storyline, which I thought was a lot fucking better than the Mighty Thor, storyline that was going on at the time. He had to sort of, in a sense, redeem himself. I thought, okay, that's a lot better fucking storyline than, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think that's more of a Thunderbolts tie-in than anything else. I think that's pretty much why it's coming out around about the same time
Oh,
as
100%. Yeah,
Black Widow. Um,
I agree.
yeah. So you got Taskmaster and what's his name? Baron Zemo. I think they're going to be
Yep.
set up for as villains. Then going forward, I think they're just going to sort of pick and choose some, have end credit scenes where Thunderbolt Ross shows up and sort of, you come with me. Yeah.
Yep, that's literally what that show is going to be. Like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be tying up all the loose ends that Civil War kind of caused.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They've got the new U.S. Patriot in that show. The new
Yep.
version of Captain America. That looks interesting. Baron Zemo back in action with the actual fucking mask this time, which I'm like,
I
okay,
know. I'm
cool.
excited to see that. Yeah.
And then just honestly, Falcon and Winter Soldier looks pretty good. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited for it. I'm excited for there are no Marvel shows that I'm not excited for. Even She-Hulk. I mean, like
yeah,
some people don't like She-Hulk, but I'm like, I want to see. Sure, why not? Let's do it. Like I want to see
mm,
everything. I want to see anything Marvel
yeah,
has to do. Because I'm curious as to how they're going to tie in all the shows to the movies.
yeah.
And I'm curious on what a Marvel. I'm curious what an MCU show looks like budget wise. We
Yeah.
know what the Mandalorian looks like. I'm curious what
Well, these
all
are
these
going to
other
be
shows.
more expensive than The Mandalorian. Like they're literally spending
Uh,
the exact same
they're
amount of
less.
money.
Well, it's this. But it's. I believe it's more money but less episodes. There's six
Oh, okay.
episodes instead of 8.
Right. Okay.
So it ends up averaging out to the same budget per episode.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think it's going to be really good. WandaVision, I know you said it's going to be one of your, the one you're looking forward to the most.
It is.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, this looks fucking really fucking
Well,
strange.
we don't know what the show is yet. People keep saying it's like, oh, is it going to be like different sitcoms? I don't know. We don't
Mm,
know. That teaser trailer that we saw
yeah.
gives us nothing as to what the show is going to look like.
Yeah.
We will see a trailer soon. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just excited because the concept seems cool. I'm excited to see what Scarlet Witch become Scarlet Witch
Mm,
and really get her cool powers going. I want to see I want to see how depressing that show's going to get because it will be most
yeah.
likely.
It'd be dealing with grief. I think this main.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
Do you
It's gonna be
think
a good time.
you think they're going to bring back Vision through WandaVision?
No, he's gone.
You think he's
There's
gone?
no there's no need for him.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I still think that they're going to do something to sort of bring him back on a
I
permanent
don't want
basis.
anyone who's died to come back. I don't want Black Widow to come back. I don't want Tony Stark to come back. I don't want to see Captain America come back. I don't want to see anyone who's dead to come back.
Yeah,
I want people who are dead to stay dead.
yeah. Otherwise, what's the fucking
There's
point
no
of it?
stakes of characters come back to life.
Yeah.
This,
Well,
yeah.
I honestly, like, I think her with the two kids. I think the two kids are definitely going to come back because they're definitely going to do a
Yeah,
Young
probably.
Justice
Yeah, they're
style.
young Avengers. Yeah.
I think out of all the
Yeah.
things that they're planning, the one thing that I'm sort of like about is the what if. The
Oh, I'm very excited for What If.
Oh, really?
It's gonna be really cool.
I don't
I
know.
like 2D animation and I miss it, so I'm just excited to see animation.
Yeah, yeah. The zombie cap
Happen.
looks fine. Like, like I saw a bit of a tease for zombie cap and
Yep, they're gonna do the. Well, that's gonna be that one's gonna be I think the all of them are zombies or whatever.
yeah. I think it's just gonna be
That
cap,
is.
isn't it?
Mhm.
No? Oh, okay.
There's a comic I believe where all of them are
Yeah,
zombies.
Marvel
Like,
Zombies. Yeah, I read that
yeah.
years ago, but and that got a little
Yeah.
fucking strange towards the end, like towards like Marvel Zombies 9 or whatever. It's just like, oh, okay, it's
It's
getting
gonna the show's gonna have the Watcher be like the voiceover
and
guy,
it's the guy from
which is gonna.
Westworld, isn't it?
Yeah. I forget the actor's
Yeah,
name, but
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a cool actor.
Also playing
And
Captain Gordon or Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman movie.
yes,
Yeah.
and the Batman. Yeah.
So, a bit of crossover there. That's the one show that I'm like, maybe that will be fine. But Hawkeye. Now that's a fucking show that I've been fucking waiting for a while. Like, and it's
Oh, I don't care at all. I couldn't care any less. I
really.
think that's like the. Yeah, I think again a lot of these things I need to see trailers for first, but
Mm,
I don't know what that show's gonna be.
yeah, I think it's gonna
I mean,
be.
there's a couple things it could be.
Yeah,
I know it's him training. I know it's him training not his daughter,
yeah,
but someone
Kate
else to be
Bishop.
the Hawkeye.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
comics. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
well, I don't mind. Like, I think like Jeremy Renner's fucking awesome, and he's never had the opportunity to shine in that role. You know.
Yes, Yeah, I'm excited to see Jared Renner be a great actor. That's what I want to see. The show itself, I'm sure, will be fine. But like, I wanted to see Jeremy Renner be good at things, please.
What else is coming out? I keep putting the fucking list behind me, and I fucking have to keep turning around to fucking grab it and have another look. Um, Hawkeye looks good. Miss Marvel, don't know too much
Oh
about
God,
her.
Kamala Khan.
Yeah, Kamala Khan. I don't know too much
You
about
know,
the character. I know she's part of the new.
wacky.
Hey,
She's like a stretchy thing. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know much either. It's another one of those newer characters, like newer Marvel characters that I don't know anything about.
yeah. Apparently they're talking about introducing the Inhumans with her. And when it comes to Inhumans, there's only one thing I want to see. I want to see fucking Vin Diesel as Black Bolt. Do fucking Vin
I mean, it's
Diesel.
fair.
Yeah, do Vin Diesel as Black Bolt, and we'll all be fucking happy. Because imagine he's like doing two characters in the Marvel Universe. One can only say a certain fucking phrase, and the other
Yeah,
can't talk at all. So
that'd be good.
yeah, I just think that's kind of funny. Moon Knight again
Yeah, Moon
is
Knight's. I'm very excited for Moon Knight because that'll be weird.
there are talks that they're introducing Werewolf by Night into that
Yep.
storyline. So
Well,
again,
that's where he came in from his
yeah.
werewolf. Yeah. So.
So maybe that's again build up to Midnight Suns, considering you got the Blade movie. What's something we never talk about? Blade coming out,
Yeah,
but
that's not going to be in this next phase, but
I think
yeah,
that's more Phase 5. And
it is
again,
phase 5. Yeah.
yeah, She-Hulk. I really want She-Hulk to be set between Infinity War and Endgame. Like put it square in there and sort of show
By the
how.
time it comes, I mean that'd be cool, but by the time that comes out, that'll be so old that like
Yeah,
that's like 6 years. I don't know how when is that we're gonna see that? I mean that's gonna be years
yeah.
away.
Well, they've
I don't know
also
about 6 years. It'll be
well, Marvel just recently brought back the rights for the Hulk. I just read online.
yeah. They could now do a Hulk movie if they
Yeah.
want.
So you need to have the Hulk in that movie, otherwise, sort of
No. What you need to have in that show is freaking Daredevil.
true. Oh
That's
yeah.
what we need to get.
I still think that fucking something's gonna happen in Spider-Man 3 where he's gonna need a lawyer, and everyone's like
Oh, it's
Daredevil,
either yeah.
Daredevil, and I'm like,
It's gonna. It has to be Daredevil. Yeah.
they're not gonna do
It,
Daredevil.
it, it,
They're gonna use She-Hulk.
they're gonna use She-Hulk, but I want them to use Daredevil.
Oh yeah, everyone wants to use Daredevil, but you can see where they've got that whole fucking thing when it comes to the rights issues because
Yeah, I
they
know.
can't fucking do anything with the Netflix characters for
Yeah, I
2021,
mean,
something like that.
yeah, but by the time that, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's far enough where they can do it.
yeah, I
That's next year.
suppose. Yeah, well, again,
We
like,
won't see Spider-Man till the year 2022 probably.
would you want the same actor from Daredevil to show up in say Spider-Man 3?
I want them to just take those characters from the Netflix show and just put them in the MCU,
Yeah.
all of them. I mean, I like them all. Like I like them all individually.
Mm.
Um,
The best thing
I
about
think I don't think it'd be that hard
yeah,
either.
I
They
think
all just because again the shows were made for that to happen just in case if that ever
mm,
happened. Like they kind of skirted around a lot of some details in the MCU to make sure that if that does happen,
yeah.
they can.
See, that's like the end of Endgame, where fucking
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange says to Wanda, "Is that everybody?" And he's like, "You want more?" I kind of felt like fucking. I'm like, "Yeah, Agents of Shield. I want fucking Daredevil. I want fucking Jessica Jones. There are plenty fucking
Yeah,
more people I want to show up right now.
yeah.
Throw in fucking Deadpool. Who cares? You put in Howard the Duck, for fuck's sake. You couldn't
I
put in fucking
yeah
Luke
yeah.
Cage. What's going on? I don't think that they're going to do it though. I think they're just going to sort of leave those characters as is and sort of soft reboot them or just reboot them flat out down the line.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
you're probably right. They might get the same actors, but it'll probably be like
Yeah,
Different,
yeah, different.
yeah.
Just a little bit. Like
They,
soft reboot.
John Bernthal is the best Punisher.
Oh,
I
fucking.
can't. I cannot think of a better actor to have as a Punisher than John Bernthal.
But the problem is with what's going on with the Chinese market, the same way they
Mm-hmm.
redesigned Taskmaster's helmet, they can't have skulls.
Oh, I know.
So Punisher is sort of, yeah, you can have him, but he won't have the skull on the fucking uniform.
I don't care. I don't. I fine. I just want the character.
Yeah,
Put him in a Spider-Man movie. Put him in Spider-Man 5 or something.
yeah. All right, so we've literally gone through the entire thing. What are you
Yeah.
hopes for the future of the Marvel movies? What do you want to see team up wise? And yeah, because honestly,
I
I,
mean,
I
yeah. Like,
I don't think we're going to get another Avengers movie till Phase 6. I think that
we are getting an Avengers movie in Phase 4.
is it. Well, they haven't announced it.
Or we're definitely getting one in Phase 5, or not Phase 4. We're getting it in Phase 5.
I think they'll do a Young Avengers. I think they'll do Thunderbolts. Hopefully they do like something like the
There's
Midnight
no reason for
Suns.
them not to. There's no reason for them not to just do another Avengers movie.
Yeah, well, what's his name? Bob Iger has even come out and said
Mm-hmm.
that the next 3 phases aren't strictly fucking Avengers.
Yeah, well,
They aren't
yeah.
Avengers.
When he was saying that, I don't think he meant like we're not. He specifically said we're not getting the classic Avengers anymore. We're getting new team ups. They'll still call it Avengers. Just now we have different members.
Yeah, okay.
And so now we have to see movies of this is why we're seeing like Doctor Strange and WandaVision, like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, like we're seeing the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing. Like we're seeing character team up, so we can understand that people understand like we have different characters now, different team ups,
Hmm.
new team of a new Avengers team.
Well, speaking of Phase 5, and I think it's a wasted opportunity they didn't fucking announce it for 4, but Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
That's not a wasted opportunity just because I don't think that's a big one. That
Yep.
is they want the Fantastic Four. They're going to be teasing Fantastic Four, and anytime you're at the Sword base,
Hmm.
expect some sort of Fantastic Four reference.
I was thinking the
Uh,
exact same thing. That instead of them going into space from Earth, they're already in space as scientists working on the Sword
yeah, they're
ship,
already
and
there.
I think that's how they're going to have their exposure to the radiation and get all their superpowers. I think
Yep,
and you can easily enough
I
make
think
it
so
that
too.
Ben Grimm was a soldier working, who's loyal to Nick Fury or something like that. Reed Richards and Sue Storm are
We're just scientists that
just
were.
scientists, and Johnny Storm is a pilot. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? He could be like a test pilot or something like that, flying fucking alien spaceships. Da 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 da.
It'll be super easy.
Yeah.
It'll be great, and we know that that last scene in Spider-Man
Yeah.
in Far From Home, we see that I forgot the street, the exact cross street, but that cross street that they're on when he's swinging in,
Hmm.
and you see the board where it's like under construction, it says like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 4 circles.
Yeah.
It was like one that was a tease to like Phase 4. I think that was also a tease to Fantastic Four because the cross street that they were on was the Fantastic Four like building thing. So like
Okay.
everything, it's all kind of teased. They've been teasing Fantastic Four a little bit
Hmm.
already. So
Well,
beginnings of teases for that.
it's not like they can fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, let's
Oh,
just
they
look at.
easily could.
Oh
There's
well.
never been a good Fantastic Four. Dude, so many people now think Fantastic Four sucks as like a franchise, and I'm
Yeah.
over here like, no, Fantastic Four is great. Fantastic Four is like, Fantastic Four brings us Doctor Doom, the most important villain in Marvel,
Hmm.
arguably the most important villain in Marvel is Doctor Doom. All of the coolest stuff that happens is with Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
and he has a great origin story and great reasonings for why he does the things he's doing.
Oh,
Like I,
he's wearing a mask because
God,
he's got a cut on his face, and he thinks he's hideous. You ever read that issue? Yeah. Um.
no, I don't.
Yeah. Apparently, he wears a mask because he's hideously deformed, and then they finally reveal the mask. He takes off, revealing his face, and he's got a tiny little cut.
I want to just.
And
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
like
that's
in
fine.
one of the old. Back when I was on the radio, one of my co-hosts loved the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
I
So
love that.
I remember a few times, like we'd go to a commercial and our boss would come in and be like, "You guys know you've been sitting here for the last hour just talking about Fantastic Four, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." No. No, you need to play commercials. You need to, fucking do your fucking
Work.
job. Don't just, work.
Yeah.
You're not here to fucking just sit around talking about comic books. I'm like, well, that's what I kind of want to do, and that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she pretty much taught me everything I need to know about Fantastic Four. Like, I'd get to work and she'd be like, fucking, with a stack of books. Here, read these ones. These are good.
Yeah.
And but I love the Fantastic Four for what they are. You know what I mean? They literally
Yeah.
created the Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
And yeah, literally, it was.
Yeah.
In case of people don't know, Spider-Man's second issue ever was him trying to join the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day,
I believe it was the second issue. Because the first issue was just him and the Vulture, and then I think after that it's Fantastic Four.
I'm hoping for the X-Men, but here's what I want. I want them to sort of be sprinkled throughout the next few movies. I want.
Oh yeah, same.
I want Storm
I
to
think
show
we
up in
should.
Black Panther.
Oh.
Type.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I want Black Panther 2. I want fucking Rogue to show up in Captain Marvel 2. Because their history's so fucking linked. I want a bit of a nod in Falcon and Winter Soldier to Wolverine. Just little
Oh, they
tiny,
have to.
just little tiny fucking things like that. Sprinkled.
I think they'll give the nod to Wolverine and Black Widow actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
To
interesting.
the what was the military stuff that he did with Sabretooth and stuff. I think they're gonna reference that in that movie.
Okay. That would be
Having the like, oh, well, because that whole movie's about like secret, and same. It could happen in Falcon and Winter Soldier too, but it's the whole thing about like government secret projects. They could probably talk about like, oh yeah, America had the secret project of these like two crazy whatever doing things with
Canada.
them. Or Canada doing it. I mean, yeah.
I think it was the Canada one.
Yeah. But regardless, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
having governments having secret projects referencing Canadian ones would make sense.
Yeah.
If they say the name Canada in the movie, that is a reference to X-Men. Just understand. That's all that. That's all.
What was the thing called? Project H or something like that? I know it was Weapon X, but fucking.
No, that's something else.
Vision was fucking something H. Oh god,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna fucking blow up in the fucking Marvel comments in the fucking. It was da 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 da. Oh shit, I can't fucking even.
Team-X.
Team-X?
I guess? No,
that's
something else. I just typed in Wolverine and Sabretooth team, but that's not.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Is that no? That is. That is it. Yeah, Team-X for the military. Hold on.
Department H.
Team-X for the military Black Ops. Team-X was a military Black Ops unit division of the U.S. government CIA formed in the 1960s. I'm right. I was right about that.
Oh.
It was the U.S.
I thought it was fucking Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Logan, Sabretooth, and Wraith.
Okay. Well, honestly, I can wait a while before an X-Men movie comes out.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
I Phase 5, I think should end with Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phase 6, I think should end with X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, they can't really do that because they're gonna have to fucking end on an Avengers level Endgame type of movie. You know what I mean? Because they'll be like.
Well, I mean, they could do both. They could do an X-Men and then Avengers.
Yeah.
Or put it in the middle, kind of like they did with was it Phase 2, where they had like didn't Phase 2 have like Avengers and then it ended with Civil War?
I think it did.
I believe I think Age of Ultron is like in the middle.
Okay. I can't remember. It's been that
Oh no. Here I'm looking at it right now. It started with Iron Man. Phase 2 started with Iron Man 3. Winter Soldier was in the middle, and then Avengers was the second to last one.
Okay.
Because lately they've been doing like second to last be like like Avengers, and then the last one being like a tie-up end credits thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Again, I can wait till fucking Phase 6 before I worry about the X-Men.
Yeah.
It's just way too early to sort of fucking and I sort of want to scrub myself with fucking Dark Phoenix as much as I possibly can before getting back.
Yeah.
That. Have you seen that movie? That fucking thing was horrible.
No, I haven't seen any of.
I fell asleep.
I had no reason to watch this.
Yeah, like I literally fell asleep.
I have no reason to watch a Marvel thing if it isn't canon at this point. If it's not canon to the MCU,
yeah,
I have no reason to watch it.
Oh, dude, I watched pretty much
Uh,
everything. I watched the Legion TV show. You know, like fucking and like that actually got so fucking. You know, in season 3 they introduced Professor X, but obviously couldn't
really?
use the fucking actors from the movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they just had the new character playing it, and they literally just said, "Oh, this is the parallel universe." Right from
Mm.
start of season 3, they're just like, "Oh, by the way, this is a parallel universe because they've changed this and they've changed that."
Mm.
Um, okay. Phase 5. Honestly, we got Blade, Black Panther 2 is a given, Captain Marvel 2 is a given, Ant-Man 3, Guardians 3, and probably a couple of sequels to the like Shang-Chi or something like that. But yeah, I don't know what other movies they would probably introduce in Phase 5.
Well, what do you think the main villain of this? Well, okay, so you have Infinity Saga,
Yeah,
the 23 movies leading up to that. What do you think this next saga
I
is
think it's
leading
gonna be
up to?
Kang. I think Kang the Conqueror.
Hey?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think if they go with the Iron Lad origin story, I think that the fucking kid from Iron Man 3 will go on to be
Yep.
Iron Lad, and then in the future
Mhm.
grow on to be Kang. That way you have your link to fucking Iron Man and all that. But I honestly, because he altered the timeline, they messed with
Mhm.
the fucking timeline. So I honestly think that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the big bad for the next saga of films.
I think Galactus is makes the most sense for what they're set for the thing that they're setting up right now.
Yeah,
They're setting up Eternals. They're setting up Celestial things. They're setting up X Men. I like and Fantastic Four.
yeah.
I mean that's the biggest one is Fantastic Four. Like
I can,
the one that makes the most sense based off of what they're setting up right now
yeah,
is to me Galactus might not be the main thing of the saga.
yeah,
It should be, I think,
yeah.
but maybe it's like a midway point.
I think that will
It's
be
this.
the
It's
Avengers
maybe Galactus
5
is their
villain.
Civil War. I
Yeah,
think it's their Civil War.
yeah. I think what I feel like they're gonna do is they're gonna set up a bunch of fucking teams, and then like the originals, had Guardians meet the Avengers. This one's
Mhm.
gonna set up a bunch of teams, including Thunderbolts, Young Avengers, stuff like that, and then you
Well,
know,
honestly, if actually you're bringing up setting up all the teams, what they actually should do is here's what they should do. Screw everything I just said. Galactus is the main overarching thing at the end,
yeah.
but the midpoint should be Secret Wars,
Oh, Secret Invasion,
and have all the no, not Secret Invasion, Secret Wars,
Secret Wars. Oh, hang on, I think I read
where
that one. Was that the one where
Secret Wars.
Wolverine and Spider Man and it's all like Nick Fury going to a country and taking out something and then wiping everyone's memory?
No,
No. Oh.
Secret Wars. No, Secret Wars is where all the every like pretty much all the like main characters of like the Marvel characters, all the teams, whatever you come on a planet and fight.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have the villains, all the villains fight all the heroes, and they all fight, and it's cool, and it's dumb, and I love it, and it's great. And then you find that like it's like Doctor Doom, like because this is I'm rereading the original Secret Wars. I never actually read the newest Secret Wars. I have it all downloaded,
Mm,
ready to go. But with the new Secret Wars, there's like some backstory they have to read first, so it's gonna take me a little bit to like get into every.
yeah.
Because a lot of the modern comics I'm just not up to date with.
Yeah.
I haven't really read any Marvel comic past like 2005 probably.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
I'm a bit the same way.
so all this modern, yeah, so all the modern stuff with the modern Secret War thing, I'm not too caught up with.
Yeah.
But apparently, I think with the new one, like it kind of does it's a similar thing, but a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want. I want to see having all these teams together. I think would be really fun to like let's just have all the teams fight each other.
That would be interesting, but I can't see. There's not really a plot there, is there? You know what I mean? Like just having them all fight.
I mean, I mean, there was more to it,
Yeah.
but that's basically the easiest way to
So it's pretty much
explain it.
Civil War 2, in a sense.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
but bigger. It's Civil War 2, but at a cosmic level.
Yeah. Okay.
Since we're going into cosmic Marvel, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do a Nova movie. I've been really looking forward to that. I hope if anything, just let him join the fucking Guardians for Guardians 4 or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
But yeah, like when it comes right down to it, like the main thing that I'm looking forward to is fucking Doctor Strange. I think that's the number one movie that's going to sort of set up the rest of the
I think it's yeah.
future.
I think Doctor Strange and Eternals are the two most important movies I think for the next saga. Actually,
Yeah, um, and you could be right with the Galactus, but I don't know, like that big fart
we'll
cloud.
know in Eternals. We will. I guarantee we will know if Galactus is going to be
Mm,
the main threat from Eternals.
yeah,
I mean, it would make sense because again, the reason Eternals exists is because of the Celestials. The reason why Galactus exists is because of the Celestials. We already know that they've talked about Celestials in Guardians 2,
yeah.
so
Well,
and in Guardians 1 actually. So
there's one movie we have actually fucking forgot to fucking even mention, and that's Deadpool 3.
yeah, I don't know
Considering,
what that's gonna happen with it.
well, they've already met with Marvel Studios and stuff like that, so
Yeah,
um,
we'll know soon if it's gonna because we don't know if it's specifically if it's gonna be MCU or not.
yeah,
Marvel owns the rights to make it, obviously, but we don't know if it's gonna be because we know that Marvel said that any of the rated R
mm,
stuff, any of the more mature Marvel anything is gonna go to Hulu. It
yeah,
won't be on Disney Plus.
okay,
So all the Deadpool movies, if they want to put it on streaming services, they'll never go to Disney Plus. They'll go to Hulu.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so
Well,
that's their first kind of like admittance to like we want these things to be separate.
yeah.
So they could put Deadpool as a separate thing.
I still think that the end of Doctor Strange is going to end with fucking Deadpool falling through a fucking
I'd love it.
portal, and then just like
I'd love that.
cuts to like him looking around, going, "What the fuck?" and then sort of
Yeah, yeah,
cut away. All right, man. We've been doing 2 hours of this. I've got a fucking
yeah,
appointment with the doctors in about half an hour, about an hour or
yeah. And
so.
I have
So,
to.
and you got to get ready
I'm
for your
hungry. I need
live
to eat
stream.
dinner.
Is there anything
I
you
need to
like
eat dinner to get ready for my live stream.
anything you like to plug before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I'll plug all the things I plugged earlier when you were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Fieldstone. I stream Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 7 to 10 p.m. PST. You can watch me play video games. I'm playing God of War right now. I'm almost done with that. After that, I don't know what I'll play. The Mega Man Zero and ZX collection is coming out. I'll probably play that on stream for a bit. And then also Devil May Cry 3 is coming out soon. I'm definitely playing that on stream because I love Devil May Cry. And then follow me on Instagram at Fieldstone Studios. I'm on Twitter at Fieldstone Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the internet. Twitch is like the main thing for me though. Lately, is I've been going full steam ahead on my Twitch. So find me there, and then you can find everything else. My Discord, you can find everything. All of my community things is filtered through my Twitch at this point.
Okay. Awesome, man. Well, this has been a great fucking conversation.
Yeah, man.
As it usually is. Next time we'll probably get, I don't know what we'll do
What
for
nerd thing are we gonna talk
what
about
we're
next?
going to talk about next time. Just please watch Agents of Shield. I know you don't want to, but
I will.
I'm carrying the flag for Agents of Shield. I don't care.
I'll tell everyone. What everyone should do is watch.
Yep.
Gear up for Clone Wars season 7.
Oh,
That's what everyone should do.
Oh, that is true. That is true. All right. This has been Podlitical Night episode. I think we're 3. Only 3 in this. Next interview coming up later on in the next 2 weeks with Adam Kokesh and Max Egan. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, dude, again, this has been a great thing, great show. And yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Later.
See ya.